No, it wasn't Kevin Smith that was going to be Fletch. It was Kevin Smith directing the My Name is Earl guy. Can't think of his name. I'm playing it again because I screwed it up.
So are we going to hear about the symbology on it?
I see a great horned owl.
You are a great horned owl.
That's a compliment.
He is.
Did that thing start over again?
Are you looping?
Are you looping?
Yeah, usually.
No, I do not have loop turned on. Okay, we're live.
Awesome.
Maybe try to make as much noise as I can.
I gotta work on that intro clip. I need to get this thing working. All right, here we go. Let's check sound levels with the radio audience. Joe, you could come in if you want.
Check.
Yvonne, you could come in if you want. Everyone,
Check the microphone.
Check. Do we sound okay? Can you guys hear us? Hello. I'm gonna give you.
Oh wait, Carl's gonna start bitching in just a minute.
What time do you have to get Jack?
Oh, I don't know, 10:30 or 11. But I think he's mad because Jack didn't clean out his litter box.
Oh wow! All right. Click now, cause I'm deleting that biatch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I gotta wait. I don't know. 7 seconds. Okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, it's gone. All right.
Okay, you ready?
So what were we talking? What were we talking about?
What were we waiting for?
What's your 20, Jay? What's your fucking 20 right now?
So
man?
my 20, I'm in my house. I'm nice and chill. I've enhanced my calm.
In what dimension?
You've enhanced your calm?
I have enhanced my calm.
Oh my god, how? I need to do that.
Chakra crystals.
No, you did not. Seriously?
37?
Put them on my forehead and meditate.
You did?
Maybe.
When?
You might as well think I did.
Well, no, I'm not going to think you did.
I have done that. I didn't do it recently.
I saw a deft application of the elements of wind and fire.
In Northern California?
No, with you enhancing your calm.
Oh, nice.
Yes. Oh, that. Yes. I was already enhanced. Anyway.
No judgment for me, brother.
So, are we waiting for more people to get here and watch us?
No.
Watch us, damn it.
Let's just go.
We're going. Go. So, so the idea tonight was I remember from back in the CB days, used the police codes, like 10-4 means you're okay, or I don't know any other ones off the top of my head, except 10-20, which means what's your location. And the common, it equates to where are you at? Where, what are you doing? What's going on with you? What's your 20?
Where you at?
Where you at? So I just thought we'd bring up some of the current events that are going on and see where everyone's at and just bring them up as topics. Like, where are we at? Like, where are we at on Vegas?
Like, is the Earth flat?
Oh, we'll get to
Are
that.
aliens?
No, we're not. Yeah, later.
But that's
There's-
a big question.
That's
There's
our
other stuff.
that's our 3 stuff. Come on.
But what's your
Yeah.
20 is about all that shit, man, isn't it?
It is on a more esoteric level, which we can get to. But I would like to discuss some more 3D shit first.
Like physical on the map. What state do you live in?
No,
No,
like what the fuck's going on
What do you think's
with the
going
Vegas
on?
investigation?
in the California
think anybody
fires.
knows.
It's like it's off the news now. It's like, and Weinstein's even gone. They've moved on to the new shit now.
I think people are sort of have traded off Vegas and Weinstein for the well, depending on what kind of group you're talking to, people have traded that off with the Uranium One bit.
And Donald Trump calling
Did-
the service the gold member.
Wait.
Yeah.
Did the uranium stuff make the mainstream finally?
It's
Yeah, it was on Fox.
It was on Drudge and it was on Fox, yeah. And actually Daily Caller and damn, there was another site and the name is escaping me at the moment.
Zero Hedge.
No, it wasn't Zero Hedge. It was another one. It was
Oh,
was like
the
Circa.
mirror.
It was on Circa.
Circa. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is the.
Significantly better reputation, Zero Hedge. Grace,
I like Zero Hedge. They have some interesting stuff.
Oh, I like Zero Hedge too. Don't get me wrong. It's just they have I think Circa has a better reputation.
I'll have to check it out. So the uranium thing was that basically what that they're selling depleted uranium. Basically, what George Webb has been saying. No,
The
So,
Clintons.
But
Bill
I'll
went over.
I'll try to give you the short version.
let that guy do it.
So,
Okay.
so the Rosatom, the Russian,
Tom.
exactly, yeah. So the Russian-owned company that does uranium fissile material refining and internal, logistics for the Soviet government, including their weapons program, decided that they wanted to corner the market on uranium, and they set about doing this. So part of their plan seems to have been finding a way to break into the U.S. Fissile material market for nuclear reactor fuels, of which there were 3 large companies that had nuclear reactor assets. So they managed to get into that market, selling recycled nuclear weapon cores for reactor cores.
Right.
So that's how it started. So they got into the market that way, and then as part of their ongoing plan, it seems they managed to get a license to or some kind of permission for selling new uranium, not just recycled uranium, but new uranium. So in the process of doing this, they managed to get a control of about a third of a company called Uranium One, United States company that handled uranium refining. So like basically new uranium that they're pulling out of the ground and refining into reactor cores and other kinds of fissile material. So they managed to get about a control of about a third to a fifth of this, kind of a controlling amount. And the issue was that in the process of doing this, they had to get permission from Federal Trade Commission and some other government agency boards, of which Hillary Clinton was sitting on the board that was making the decision. While the decision was being made, Bill was going to Russia and talking to one of the investment banks that was financing Rosatom and one of their subsidiaries, wholly owned subsidiaries, and making a certain amount of money. And there were some other channels that they were getting money pumped into the Clinton Global Initiative and some other Clinton,
some Clinton Foundation shit. This is all what George Webb uncovered too, but that's what you're describing is the PG version.
Yeah, yeah. So what's happening though is that people are starting to come forward, and there's evidence that's being presented about that there was actual pay for play. This wasn't just a coincidence, and that FBI intentionally delayed the investigation into this while the decision process was being made.
And she supposedly failed to report that she received that much money or something like that.
Well, it's a whole pay for play thing that's going on, and that's just one part of it. But the FBI cover up is because the FBI is part of it.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not that they covered it. What's that?
They weren't investigating intentionally, or and actually it was a combination of things. One was that they weren't investigating quickly enough, and the other was that when the spy ring that actually was facilitating all this got busted, that Hillary made sure that she was trading the people that had gotten captured for whoever the Russians were willing to give up, which were basically like the D string of spies that were captured in Russia, and some of whom hadn't even been to prison or convicted. So, like, okay,
isn't that wild? Because wasn't she trying to make Trump as the Russian conspiracy person? And she does something like that.
Well, that was all cooked up by Podesta and what's his face on the plane after they lost. That was in that book, Shattered.
Yeah. And that's all Saul Alinsky level shit anyway. I mean,
exactly, and that's all they're doing.
Yeah,
it's the Luciferian agenda.
Well, I mean, even if it's not Luciferian, I mean, you accuse somebody else of doing something, and the cognitive dissonance of
I know
what
I
just
know.
Take over, and by the time you've figured it out, it just doesn't. It's all finished anyway.
Right, and then if you snap it back, if you throw it back at them in the face, oh, you're a racist, or something off the wall like that.
Yeah,
I know, it's crazy. So that's it's going to be interesting. Have you been following George Webb at all, or Jason Goodman?
Only George Webb, and only very peripherally, just what I've been hearing. It didn't seem interesting enough.
It has gotten boring. I agree.
Yeah, so it started off when I saw it. It was at day 40 something.
Oh,
and I thought, okay, this has been going on for 40 days.
Well, he's at 1 year today.
Of what?
Day 365.
Oh boy.
Of what?
Of carrying on ad nauseum about this and trying to get people interested, and people just simply aren't. And I don't know if it's George or if it's
which people? He's got a huge subscriber base.
Yeah, I mean, well, the people that the people that are listening to him are obviously interested, or they wouldn't be subscribing. But ultimately, you got to ask, so what? I mean, are the wrong people listening, or are not the right people listening?
You don't know what's going on then.
I guess I don't.
No, he's been involved in the court case.
I didn't know he was involved in the court case.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You have no idea. He's uncovered like several different pay-for-play schemes that are running simultaneously using various departments and various department heads and whatnot in various departments of government. It's very complicated. And they have a Trello board. You can look at it all. It's really interesting.
Cool. I'll go look.
Yeah, but the key to all of it was this guy Imran Awan that got arrested from...
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know the Imran.
Right. So they charged him with bank fraud because he lied on a loan application. This is after like 8 months of investigation by the FBI. And they caught him as he was leaving the country with like $10,000 in cash to go back to Pakistan. So
I didn't know he was in that whole thing. I knew I've been following the Awan case. I didn't know that.
Well, here's the deal. This is George Webb's theory. I guess it's theory, right? You'd call it theory, but he's got evidence to support this. So it's no different than a prosecution putting a case together.
Yeah,
because he's doing it as a. I don't think he's a lawyer, but he's doing it from a legal perspective.
Sure.
So let me get a sec. Hey, where's Grim and James?
I don't know. I've got them over
here. They're playing World of Warcraft
in their Slack.
I think Grim said he's going to be a little late. He's got Dungeons and Dragons stuff going on, I believe.
He's playing World of Warcraft.
Or that.
I was doing that before I got in here.
It begins. That's the problem.
I'm not. The graphics suck. Anyway, okay.
Yeah,
So
dude, there's
wait,
got to be a better one soon.
I don't. I have to upgrade apparently, but whatever. So Imran Awan hired into I wanted to go back to where he comes to the country on like a visa for this organization called Inter-America. I forget how long he's there. He gets interned on to, I think, Anthony Weiner's staff, as an IT guy, and then moves into Congress, and he's the guy who gives out the BlackBerries to the DNC caucus. Okay.
Okay.
Aside from that started 14 years ago. I think that's the right number. So then, let's fast forward. I don't remember the dates exactly, but he has taken out loans for and purchased 12 homes in the DC area, and is apparently renting them out very particularly to people who have access to locations where he would like information from. So, and has apparently bugged all these houses to spy on these people so they can get information from inside wherever they're at, like the naval yard. And I forget the woman, what she was, like an accountant or something like that. So that led to one discovery that they might be taking drugs off of inbound VA shipments and replacing it with like sugar pills and selling those on the black market. That was one of his theories. I don't know what's going on there.
The sugar pills will probably work better anyway.
It's 50-50, right?
Yeah.
I'm still listening. Don't stop it. One of the cats has tipped a bunch of shit over and I need to get it picked up before. Okay. All right. So that, and he found these threads of information gathering. Let's call it that, what you were calling rat lines. And then the information gathering would lead to criminal activities. And I think there's like 5 or 6. The deal is, though, the main point is that this guy may have like hacked all the BlackBerries and iPhones that he gave out to all the people on the floor of Congress, which is Republicans and Democrats. And all those smartphones are set up for government encryption, all that shit, and they have to sync back to a master server to get backed up and everything. And he may have had additional backup servers placed in like his home and was collecting all this data. And it looks like the guy is from Pakistani ISI. So we've had it's like a giant spy ring in Congress. That's what it is. But nobody knows about it because this one innocuous dude did it.
So I missed the beginning of this. What's the guy's name?
Imran Awan.
All right.
So George has brought all this information, trying to get it into the record. He's brought it to the prosecutor's attention, and that's a whole other clusterfuck there because it's if the prosecution won't introduce any other evidence or even produce evidence or anything that would cause discovery on their part, you know. So they, so he, I don't know if he filed it, but he was going to. He did. He filed an intervention where he would intervene on behalf of the people to take over as the attorney because there's malfeasance on the part of the prosecutor of the government. It's a law.
So is Debbie Wasserman Schultz's brother still the prosecuting attorney?
I don't think he's like in the trial, but he's on the case or in charge of the guy in the case. Yeah, that was the other thing that was kind of odd. So it looks like they're hiding evidence or they don't want to introduce it because it would lead into discovery of other things. So George still has options. He's petitioning all the senators now or suing them. I don't know what he's doing. This is the part I haven't caught up on yet. But he's got almost all 50 states involved. I know that. And even grassroots. Oh, the depleted uranium. That was one of the other rat lines was depleted uranium.
So
what you were talking about.
No, I wasn't talking about depleted uranium. I was talking about spent reactor cores. Those are a little bit different.
Depleted uranium.
Well, yes and no. I mean, depleted uranium is like far more depleted than spent reactor cores tend to be. So the pellets in a reactor core, they get down to a certain level of fissile material left in them as they're converting, and then they re-refine those, and they it ends up as being more like enriched uranium, like a newer core. When you start dealing with things like depleted uranium, like in a projectile for a 30 millimeter cannon or something like that, like they shoot from airplanes, those are like almost entirely depleted. Not very rare, but somewhat toxic possibility.
Sorry, my internet just freaked out. Well, what I missed the last sentence.
Oh no, I was saying that that maybe I'm splitting hairs, but it's not beyond the scope of possibility, and that's not beyond the scope of possibility.
I understand the distinction, and thank you. I did not. I understand. You know, of course, there's varying degrees of depletion.
Okay.
And I don't know what the degree that he's talking about. He was just calling it depleted uranium, which may have been one of the pizza codes in the email. That was another thing he was surmising, that those codes were for the various operations that are going on. So,
yeah, that would make sense. I mean,
but yeah, but it's all going through the Clinton Foundation, basically. That was the other thing. Or a lot of them are. And there's a bunch of banks. There were so many different facets to it. It's like you can't even wrap your mind around it unless you really pay attention. And I did not.
Yeah.
But he's doing daily summaries once in a while where he'll say, look, this is where we're at. And like I said, you can go to the Trello board and see the whole timeline of what. Okay. And this all started with, I think, the Seth Rich investigation.
Wow.
So yeah, what he's trying to do and what he's grown into, to answer your first comment about it, was that he's decided to become like the online journalist on the street. When there's a news story, he'll go to it and cover it, and that's what he's been doing. And the Iwan thing is just one of the cases he's doing. He was going to go look at a serial killer out on Long Island, I think, next. Oh, I remember what else he found. The things he's calling Operation Dumbo Drops. It looks like a group of people would lure young women into a party situation and drug them. And I don't know, there was drugs involved and there were diplomats involved.
Okay.
And it didn't end well for a lot of people. And then
it was fentanyl.
Fentanyl, right. So that was another thing, and that goes into the child trafficking and the human trafficking and sex slave shit. That's one of the other rat lines. Which, how many times have you ever heard that about, like Haiti?
But George maintained that he wasn't talking about child trafficking, that it was
teenage girls and young
trafficking
girls.
of humans,
right?
Because there's a lot of women that were missing from Washington, D.C., from Virginia. There's certain areas where he could trace the Iwan businesses, and there's several other people involved besides just Imran. His brother. Do you have a sister, or was it his mom? Or I don't know.
This is the other thing he uncovered is all the fake people. That once they were able to get inside the Congress and be on the secure network, they could add employees to the PeopleSoft application that runs the government's, payroll and shit. So they added employees, and apparently they had one, I forget what her name was, but they would just shift different people in and out as their visas expired into that persona.
So they would have a person that would show up one day with that was like 5'8" and short hair. That would say, "Hi, I'm."
They're no-show employees.
Priya, whatever.
They're no shows. If they had to show up, they would just stuff someone in. You're so and so today. Go in there.
Here with it.
Right. So
it says pre.
And all these people are making like 120 grand. They're all no shows, but they probably all have admin rights too, because they're probably backup accounts, really. But I might as well put them on the payroll while I'm at it. If any of this is true, it's horrible. And everyone that George has brought to whose attention he's brought it to refused to look into it. It's like, what do you do? So he said he's going to take it to the Supreme Court if he has to.
I've had the dubious privilege of working in DC before, in Northwest around Capitol Hill.
I'm sorry.
And thank you. I appreciate that. I'm still traumatized. But this surprises me not at all. I saw some of the sketchiest shit I've ever seen ever. Like I've seen at the midway at a carnival that was less suspect. I've seen gypsies in alleys in France and Paris that were less sketchy than some of the shit that I've seen there. So,
gypsies, huh?
No, actual capital G gypsies. Yes. Yeah.
Awesome.
So anyway, this doesn't surprise me at all. There's some genuinely sketchy shit that happens in DC.
I'm muted. Yeah, definitely. I agree. So that's what's going on with that. I don't know where the trial stands. I think they just had their last hearing or something.
I didn't know there was a trial going on. I just heard they were doing hearings that like the Senate is investigating or something like that.
Well, the Senate they've started to investigate it now because all the shit that's coming out. Plus, George Webb has gotten in with Grassley, and he met with Dunford too, which I thought was interesting. That George Webb gets to meet General Dunford, and I keep hearing Dunford's name as this white hat, taking down the deep state kind of shit. You know what I'm talking about?
Sorta.
Yeah. Everyone else talks about it on the internet. We can't. We can. I remember hearing last year that Dunford was president already. That they'd taken over the government. It was like a Benjamin Fulford update.
Oh boy.
Yeah. That Dunford was in charge of the government. That Trump's dead. That's a clone in there, in the office. Some shit like that. Like, oh man.
That's awesome. But Benjamin Fulford is like our reporter from an alternate timeline.
One with dragons.
Fulford's awesome.
With the White Dragons Society.
That's right.
I know, right?
And we shouldn't make fun of the dragons.
Who's making fun of the dragons? I'm not making fun.
I was about to make fun of them, but I forgot Radiguez was here.
Damn it, Jerry.
I was gonna the one guy, the master or whatever his name was, the ambassador. That guy. Oh. They had chips during the broadcast. He always ate something crunchy whenever they were on the live. It was like, dude.
He's like a dad on YouTube.
He's like what?
Product placement ad for kettle chips on.
You never get to see the guy. It's just crunching.
Yeah, well, how else do you do it? I mean, that's how they're known. Man. They don't have some guy chewing. It's the crunch that gets you, right?
It is. You can never eat just one.
He brings a present.
Good times. All right. Yeah, I agree, dog.
That's crazy.
It's just crazy.
Gracie, sit. Sit.
Say goodnight, Gracie. What show was that?
That was Burns and Allen.
No. Yeah, I know it was, but that was also like a production house ending to some sitcom.
Oh. Yeah, I don't know. It wasn't shot black and white. I don't know what it is anymore.
Oh, you're not that old. It was like Cheers or something like that. All right. I'm out of topics. No.
What's your 20
on Vegas?
On Vegas. What's your 20 on
The
that,
V
Jerry?
word. I heard Crow talking. Crow was on ODD today. Did anybody else catch that?
No.
He wouldn't even say Vegas. He was calling it the V word, and everyone in chat's going, "What's the V word?" I think it's Vatican. I'm thinking, I guess he's talking about the Vatican. He didn't want to say it because apparently during their broadcast, this is what freaked him out too, because they're doing a live stream. It's about a half hour in, and ODD gets a strike during the stream, a community standard strike for his guns video. And he lost his live streaming ability. He's like, well, I don't know if I keep going out anymore. It was just kind of weird that he lost his ability to stream while he's running 2 streams. Anyway.
Did they ban his IP, not just his account?
I think that you just can't start new ones.
Probably just his account.
Yeah. So that's interesting.
Dude, that would that'd be crippling to someone trying to up and start, man. What a foolish mistake. In the broadcast, too. That's quick.
It wasn't.
Any old person can buy those programs that can go out and do that stuff, man.
Well, I'm just saying okay. So they were talking about other shit. And he got a strike during the show for a video, another video. And then they started to blame their current live stream. Like, oh, they don't like us talking about this. That's why they did that. That's kind of that's what they think it's an attack against them, and I don't know that it is. It could be. I mean, it very well could be, but it just seems like these people are getting on strikes a lot lately, and it's when they're outspoken about the V word or whatever, when they don't follow the party line, basically. Oh yeah, George Webb lost his streaming ability for what? Did he mention Vegas? Watch me get kicked off now.
Yeah.
No, it was just that one guy, right?
So, do you want to talk about Vegas a lot and see if you get, struck or whatever?
No.
Sounds like failure testing.
No, I don't care. I don't care. If you guys want to talk about it, we could talk about it. There's really nothing new other than it looks like there's more than one shooter, which was known the night. There was a lady today came out from the Bellagio with video and interviewed, talking about exactly what happened. There were gunshots in the Bellagio.
Yeah, I saw a video today on a Facebook feed where a guy was supposedly had a chest wound from being shot, and
squibs.
His arm looked shredded, and he was supposedly shot in the arm.
But
and you know what? I think this was on Rufus Scats, Aaron's. Yeah, that wasn't on Facebook. I'm tripping, dude. But yeah, they were just tearing it apart. Like, it just looked fake, and the injuries were part of a bunch of mass casualty drills, and
Factors.
Yeah. See, it really looks to me like it was a drill.
I saw,
but it was a hybrid. It was like they mixed the drill with a live event.
Yeah, that's what they do.
Central Intelligence for a long time has been embedding, I guess for lack of a better term, agents provocateur. Maybe that's the correct term. Agents provocateur in large public gatherings to sort of incite violence and foment unrest and stuff like that. So,
like Antifa.
Well, yeah, but it started long before that, where they would have, somebody would announce like a rally of some kind in public.
Sure.
And, there would be, 10 people or something like that sprinkled throughout the crowd that would, whenever the person speaking said some particular trigger word, would just start yelling and trying. It's like the plants in an audience for a sitcom where the people clap or laugh, that kind of thing. That kind of psyop sort of stuff. And what I've seen from people speculating sort of reminds me a lot of that, in that they hire, what it sounds like is that they hire crisis actors to go in and act afraid or run in circles and yell and stuff like that.
And get interviewed.
And I also think they use it to get rid of like witness protection people, like a good way to like mask a killing or the death of someone.
Oh, that is a good idea.
That could be. There were people that got interviewed, and this was from like last week or 2 weeks ago, that were talking about folks that were on the ground, running around shooting people, like at ground level at the event.
Yeah, I heard even one person say there were like 5 or 6 people shooting.
Yeah,
which is crazy.
Yeah, we may not ever know what actually happened.
We're never going to know. Just like
we're never going to know shit.
Right. Like we'll never know what happened on 9/11. We're never going to know what happened with JFK. We're never going to know what happened at Roswell.
We're never going to know if aliens exist.
I do think Trump's going to let him go.
No, they went.
Oh, they did?
Yeah, they went.
The 26th. The 26th is the day.
Yeah, well, that may be more, but some of them came out today.
The juicy ones are the 26th.
I'm looking now for the. Where the hell's my web browser?
It's in your pocket.
I heard people were losing their homes for the wall in America. Is that true? Or is that fake?
That's fake news.
Their homes for the wall?
Nobody's building a wall. That's ridiculous.
There's no walls.
I wouldn't be mad if they built a wall around every square inch of our border. I wouldn't care.
We already have it.
It might be dumb for a capital investment point of view, but
hey,
the control is.
What about the Antarctica ice wall? They built that wall.
No, dude. The Anunnaki built that. Shush.
Oh,
no.
That's true. That's true.
And they're coming back. They're coming back soon.
The only Antarctic stuff
wouldn't
that
surprise me
so far has been enormous mountains of coal that were discovered in Antarctica.
They'll be back on Halloween.
Like crazy good coal too. It's like
that's what I heard.
Fun. Yeah.
Something.
What's this?
I heard some story about. Well, go ahead, Radgast. You were talking about it. Go ahead.
I was goofy. No, he said Jerry said the Anunnaki were coming back, and I said yes on Halloween. So
I like it. Heard it here first.
It'd be great if they came on like November 4th and scooped up all the fucking Antifa people and took them out of here when they're all rioting.
You really want me gone that bad?
No, you're not, dude. Come on, those people are not you. You're gonna beat people up?
No.
Okay.
I think you know the answer to that.
I do know the answer to that.
I don't want to take it off the menu.
That's true. That's a good point.
I think Mike could take me.
I don't know about that.
I'm just a little
guy. Pretty short.
I'm 6'2". 6'6" in heels.
Nice.
What about with the afro?
6'8". 6'6" with the fro. That's where I get the heels joke from. The fro doesn't work for a white guy who doesn't play basketball, you know. We were earlier discussing Fletch, which is my favorite movie.
Dare to dream, brother.
And how did we finish that? Jason Lee was going to play it was going to be a prequel to the first movie. So like how he got to become a goofy detective, I guess. And Jason Lee was going to play the young Fletch, directed by Kevin Smith.
Okay. But, well, if anybody could redo Fletch, I would trust Kevin Smith to do that.
Yeah, and I guarantee there'd be like a Silent Bob and Jay in there somewhere.
I'd be terribly disappointed if there wasn't a Jay. Silent Bob, I kind of, whatever.
I bet Fletch grew up in that town in New Jersey, wherever it was. Saw that donkey show even at one point.
Don't you guys? I feel bad for Kevin Smith right now.
Why?
Just the whole Weinstein thing, he had nothing to do with it, but he's involved with the dude.
How do you know he had nothing to do with it? How do we even know Harvey Weinstein did anything? Everyone's assuming he's guilty. This is something that's pissed me off.
He's guilty.
Everyone should be we're innocent until proven guilty in this country. If we expect it, we should treat others that way.
Well, he admitted it when those cameras was on his face. He told him, he's like, people have problems. I got a problem. I need help. Well, that's an admittance to me.
It's an admittance to a problem. It's not admittance to raping people. I mean, I'm not saying I don't think he's guilty. I do. But
he's guilty.
Everyone has come out and condemned him and taken his shit away from him. He's being shamed publicly. It's more than just getting caught. People are being shown what's going to happen to them if they continue their behavior.
Yeah.
That's how
I read one article that he is very unhappy with what's been done to him, and he has begun to sing, as they say. That could be hearsay, but I read an article that said he is beginning to sing.
He's going to. It's a matter of time. It's just a matter of time. There's no indictments yet, right? The grand jury's still deliberating or whatever.
Go ahead. Sorry.
I think he's kind of like pretty pissed off, and he's like, you know what? I might be Harvey Wallslime or whatever, but but you guys, no, you guys are the real dirt, and they'll forget all about me if I tell them about you.
So point your finger at the bad guy. Let's say goodnight.
Yeah, he's going to give it up like a 14-year-old.
Well, I'm just a huge Kevin Smith fan. I hate that he guilty or not. I hate that Kevin's even having I don't even know if he's having to deal with it, to be honest with you.
Well, how do we know Kevin Smith isn't involved?
He seemed he was in good spirits during the Stan Lee, when Stan Lee was putting his hands in concrete and all that stuff yesterday. He seemed pretty happy.
Did Stan Lee get a star or something yesterday?
Yeah, Hollywood, whatever they do, where they put their hands and feet in the concrete.
He only just got a star? What's up with that?
Yeah, it's pretty sad.
He's not a fucking actor. He gets a cameo in movies, and he goes, some stupid line, and that's everyone laughs. And I'm reading Necronomicon.
He's a writer. I mean, that's writers and directors and those guys get stars too.
I suppose.
What is that? What is that thing behind you, dude? That guy.
It's a 3D printer.
Yeah.
That's
it's a 3D printer? That's what I thought. That's cool. And
above that, there's a rack of filaments.
Yeah. Yeah, we had this discussion last night.
Did we?
Well, I wasn't here. Sorry.
No, it's totally okay. I mean, we can revisit it.
We didn't really talk about it.
Everybody. We don't have one. They're only about $200 now. And
really?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not surprised at that.
For a couple $100. And if you don't have one, I encourage you to do it, because what you'll find is that these things will change how you think about fixing shit around the house.
Mm-hmm. Homemade spatulas?
Well, let me put it to you this way. So my wife wanted some roller blinds in our bedroom because the lights, the sun comes up really early this far north, like 4:30 in the morning, and it wakes us both up, and it's kind of a pain in the ass that way. So she wanted some roller blinds, and she decided she wanted to make them. So she went off and bought the fabric and stuff. I sat down with a free CAD program and designed the hardware so that you can bolt it to the inside of the window frame, and designed a little pulley thingy that you can operate. And we made some roller blinds out of plastic on this printer. And it fits perfectly. It works exactly the way that I want it to and the way that she wants it to. It will completely change how you look at home repair and home modification and making all kinds of shit.
That's rad.
If you have a hole in the wall, just 3D print a wad that is the perfect size and shape.
So there are two things, just so you know, there are two things that everybody dreams about when they start thinking about buying a 3D printer. One is guns, the other is sex toys, and both of them.
I was just fixing to say, you could probably make your own fleshlight now, you know?
They all suck, and not in a good way.
Oh, man. All of them. Every last single one of them.
Yep. Nothing works that way. It's unfortunate, but that's the truth. Sorry.
Sad to hear.
Yeah. That doesn't mean that it never will. A guy can still dream.
So that costs $200. And how much does the material cost?
So you can get they usually come in 1 kilogram spools. So that's 2.2 pounds. And you can buy that stuff for anywhere from 16 to about $25 on Amazon.
It's like an open source software for the designing the stuff, pretty much.
Yeah. So the software for slicing, you can pick up. There's some software called Repetier that you can use. That's freeware, but they accept donations. I would have donated, but I bought a piece of software that slices a lot faster. It works a lot faster, and there's stuff that is completely open source that you can get that works great. The firmware for the controller board is all open source. The software that you use to put the firmware on the controller board is all.
Does it have a language?
So this is a ground up, open source, just completely free, movement. The only thing that you're really paying for is the material that you're printing with and the physical device that you're using.
Do the objects have a language? Do the objects have a language that you define them in? Like a
yes and no.
Like a logo kind of thing?
Yeah, sort of. It's somewhat like logo. There's this I guess a markup language. It's not really a markup language. It's called G code. That basically all computer numerical controlled machines speak.
Okay.
So the same kind of G code that you use for a 3D printer that you would use for like a laser cutter or a CNC mill, that kind of thing.
Okay. So a standard 3-dimensional object shaping kind of language markup. Like it's an XML with cool shit in it. I get it.
Yeah, it's like that. It serves that function. So there's that. Depending on the machine that you're dealing with, whether it's something that's taking material off of a chunk of stuff like a mill, or something that's adding material together like a 3D printer. Mm-hmm. They function a little bit differently, but the language that describes how the tooling head moves around in space is basically all the same.
Oh, it's cool.
Yeah.
So I mean, and you can go in and edit that file. It's a JSON file. No, it's not JSON. It's a markup. But you can go in and edit it and change dimensions or whatever just by changing the number of steps or what.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
So there's that. You can do that. But the cool part is that the software
the designer.
The cool part is that the software that you're using to take your 3D object that you make.
Is it me or him?
I think it's him. He's got kind of a...
Yeah, I can hear you.
He stopped in mid-motion. He's fucking Illuminati.
Uh-oh.
Okay, you're back. You're not Illuminati.
Where are you?
I heard you guys talking. So where did I drop out?
You were going like this.
Okay, so yeah, so I'm not the Illuminati 3D printer, just for the record. All right.
Yeah, sure.
So the software that's used to make the layers that the 3D prints are built from,
mm-hmm.
You can actually use that to scale up or down or stretch things in different directions, like make it wider, make it narrower, that kind of thing.
It's like Blender?
Yeah, you can use Blender to describe objects, and then there's another piece of software, either Repetier or Pronterface, I think, is one of the other titles. That
X is an export kind of mechanism or a print mechanism thing.
Yeah.
Cool.
No, Blenders. I've seen some people make some really cool stuff, but I don't have that kind of talent, man. I really don't. I wish I did, because I've seen some really cool stuff, man.
I'm betting you would be surprised. Given the right software, I think you'd be surprised.
Yeah, Blender is like 3D Studio Max, right? The generic version of that.
Yeah,
cool. It's a Google thing that they use to describe the 3D files that you see in.
No, Blender, the UI.
Oh, Blender, right? Yes, yeah, that's an Illustrator thing.
Right. Well, my brother's a 3D artist. He's into Lightwave 3D.
Oh, yeah.
And I forget the other one he used. He's like he's old too. He used to like work on the Video Toaster. If you remember those.
He's old too.
He's old. Well, he's 2 years younger than me.
This is my printer. This is the first complex object that I made with it.
Is it a dinosaur?
Actually, it's a cat.
Oh, I was going to say cat. I should have stuck.
And that's the dog that was barking earlier. That's Gracie. Gracie, leave the cat alone.
Say goodnight, Gracie.
Yeah. So this 3D printer that I made, this is one that I built like from parts.
Mm-hmm.
And all in, it's probably $250, and I can make. I can build a cube about a foot on a side with it. So you can see it's making, it's drawing the perimeter of the cat's head right now.
You can go you can go 12 inches up too.
Yeah. In fact, if I increase the size of the Z-axis screws, I can go as tall as they are.
You could print yourself some speaker stands.
I could. Yeah. One of my next projects is going to be to print a stand for my ukulele. Probably more.
There's so much stuff you could do with that, man. That's so.
Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. Just go do it. This is one of those things that's like you think of. Okay, what the hell would I do with it? What would you do with a screwdriver? It's that kind of level of abstraction.
Turn on that creativity and go do something.
Yeah. And if you are wanting for things to make, go look at Thingiverse or myminifactory.com. And you'll see all kinds of crazy crap. I've got some stuff that
there's tons of sites out there with plans stuff to print.
Yeah, and
everywhere.
It's not really plans. It's just download it and you send it to the printer and it makes it.
Plans, program, whatever. Semantics.
Yeah, no, it's all.
I know. I'm teasing.
It's,
I'm teasing.
yeah.
No, I like 3D printers. I was kind of waiting for like that next wave because it looks like there a lot of things went laser and went to like this desktop CNC kind of mode, where it's not really a router. It can do like really light engraving and things. Have you seen? What's the thing called? The one that's in a box. It's got a cute name, like
Cricut?
No, it's not Cricut. I'll look it up later. It's like Lazengo or something like that. I don't remember. Anyway, you could etch shit onto your MacBook cover with it. It's that low. Yeah, it's like $2,000 too. It's expensive. Anyway, I've been waiting for the next wave to come out and then be able to pick up the last one cheaper because that's the way I roll.
Yeah, that's me.
As long as you don't get too fancy and it doesn't become, sentient and bash your head into a wall or something.
I really.
As long as it doesn't one of itself, I'll be happy.
I really think that 3D printers.
Didn't that happen to that guy though, Jerry? Didn't that guy get his head smashed in by that robot at work or something like that? Did y'all hear about that?
No.
Yeah, there's a video about that, wasn't there?
Yeah, there was a dude who got his skull caved in by a robot at work. Cool. It was an artificially intelligent programmed robot that they had in the factory, and the dude, they had a sign or something that said don't go around it because it's programmed to do certain things, and this dude walked right by it and it crushed his skull in.
It's his own fault then.
And
reportedly you could hear the robot saying there was a sign.
I don't know. I'll have to look that up again. I remember I was going to do that on the show, but I didn't get all the details fast enough about it.
It's like the ultimate fuck you from an industrial robot.
Definitely.
God, what a way to die, man.
I just want to say about 3D printing, though, I think it represents the infancy of replication technology, technology. So, what we're seeing here, like, I don't know if we'll see it in our lives, but my kids will definitely see some kind of replication shit going on. Which reminded me of this movie I was watching today called Other Life, which is about a drug. It's not a drug. It's a nanite software that you drop in your eye, and it programs experiences into you. I don't know how other way to explain it. It's not a drug that makes you like trip, but it changes it creates I don't know what it does, but it's as if you're doing whatever it is.
It's like Brainstorm meets the Matrix.
Yeah, exactly. With a little time dilation in there. Every 7 seconds is a day, or Inception rather, Inception. So for every 7 seconds or 8 seconds you're in there is one whole day in the reality.
What is this called?
Other life, like Second Life, but other life.
Oh God!
Stop trying to impress me, Morty.
Morty, look, I'm an illegal border wall.
It's just like Inception, Rick.
There's somewhere on YouTube.
It makes
sense. Somewhere on YouTube, there's like a live panel from one of the Comic-Cons, and they're all talking in the characters' voices. A lot of that interview. I'll find it. It's funny. But Rick and Morty are both voiced by Roiland, and to watch him go back and forth with himself is kind of funny.
Sounds like Phil Henry.
Phil Henry. Have you had him on your show, Joe?
Hey, I have him scheduled to come on. Yeah,
that's cool.
Oh, wait a minute. Is that?
He's that guy, man. He's my hero. God, he's so entertaining.
Phil Henry's awesome. If you could get Phil Henry and Gary Oldman at the same time, because Phil interviewed Gary Oldman.
You know the coolest thing about that show is the old shows when stupid people would call in.
Oh yeah,
they didn't know he was doing all the voices.
Yes,
and he would just screw them.
Wasn't that
hours?
Art Bell or Coast to Coast or something like that?
No, I mean I don't know about. I know he used to mimic Art Bell, but I know
he did.
You know, people would call in and he would just mess with them. He'd be like, he would say the stupidest stuff. He'd be like, "Yeah, you write this down, get a pen and paper," and they'd be like, "Okay, what's your name?" And he would say it and spell it different, and then spell it different again,
yes.
And then tell them to dial the same number over and over again, but it was a different number each time. And you know, he just kept messing with, pretty much trying to show you how stupid these people were, because they would just keep, biting on it. You know,
there was a bit that he did where he had a caller on his show, an elderly black lady that was just terribly distraught, and she was afraid because her son had converted from Baptist to Catholic, and she was afraid because she hasn't heard from him for several days, and she started off with the phrase that Catholics killed my boy. And yeah, it was awesome. And it was, as things developed, we found out that the priest from the local diocese had this thing where he would go around and have services and hold mass at people's houses, kind of as a community building thing. And she was afraid because they took communion sometimes, and that at communion you eat the host, and that it was her son's turn, and she was afraid that Catholics ate her boy. And they had Catholic priests calling into the show and saying, no, they didn't eat your son. That the host is called. That's the thing that's the wafer. They did. And she was, no, Catholics ate my boy. And at the end of it, before the whole thing came completely off the wheels, she was like, oh, he must have been so scared. It was all you can eat Negro.
Whoa.
But that was all Phil Henry doing the voices, right? Of the old lady?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And he was so convincing. It was one of the most masterful artworks that I've ever experienced or seen anywhere. I mean, you just knew she was the sound of her voice. She was just so distraught and just so hopeless. It was incredible.
Do you remember hearing the Jerky Boys for the first time? Same kind of thing. It's like, oh man.
Look, Jerky.
The Egyptian magician. I punched my chest, and then I set myself on fire.
Well, they did. The Jerky Boys did the frickin' God. What the hell did they call? Oh, the Aristocrats. They did the Aristocrats once.
Did they really?
Yeah. Yes.
Not in the movie.
What? Oh no, not in the movie. No. That was one of their phone gags. Was look, I got this fun agent. And it takes off from there.
Man, I just looked
real
at my
Crescent Fresh right now,
and realized after you were asking if I was going to have him on there, and I looked at my email, and it never sent. It's saved as draft. I was supposed to send him back.
I think you told me that last time I talked to you.
Why does my email keep doing that?
Because it's the wrong email address. He blocked you, something like that.
No, he didn't block.
No, it's not a sender site.
That sucks though. Shit.
Do you use a local email program, or do you just do webmail, or what?
Well, I got all kinds of different. I got all kinds of different emails. But if I send somebody like an invite or something to the show or whatever, I usually use the one from the Fringe.fm email, and I use Exchange on Windows 10, and it never sends. It's like it won't. Unless I go directly through the domain and then use like Horde or something, it never sends. Or if I do it on my phone, but when I do it on my PC, I'll hit send. It'll say message sent, and then I'll look at it later, and it'll say saved as draft, not sent.
That blows.
Well, did you look in your sent mail to make sure it never was sent? You might have saved a draft before.
That's exactly where I was looking.
Well, I would say ditch Outlook. It sucks, and get Thunderbird.
I gave up on email clients a long time ago, man. I just go against Google.
I have too many accounts for that.
Never too many email accounts.
I just let it happen.
I have several that I need to manage.
You want to GPS me?
Killendale dreams a dream and sends it out to the universe, and it magically arrives.
Transmitted by neutrinos.
No, I wish. I mean, I just let the rape of Nanking happen, man. It's coming down the pipeline, right? Like
who?
Monitoring everything, Google taking all the data, everything in Gmail, whether it's like your private property or not, becomes their property too.
Yeah,
that's true. That's part of the user agreement.
It's like Ancestry.com. Your DNA becomes theirs when you send it in.
Yeah, my wife keeps wanting to do that. I'm like, yeah, no, please don't do that. I will buy a gene sequencer and tell you what's in it.
Man, we had somebody show up at our house one time and just showed up out of nowhere and was like, hey, did you know that we're related and this is my cousin? And telling us, and we were like, oh, really? Like, leave. It was so weird.
DNA sample from you from 300 yards.
Didn't call or nothing. Just showed up with this plaque full of names and showing us how we were all related. And
wow.
You're related to Toby Keith. Did you know that? I'm like, no, I don't care. Go away.
That's what these guys are doing. They're taking the DNA. Not only are they using it for whatever purposes they say they own it, but they're also using it to trace your lineage through the DNA.
That's great.
Are they looking for someone?
They're trying to find.
They're building family trees
and stuff. And what's that other game I used to play until I realized what they were doing? Ingress, where their data mine.
Oh yeah, me too.
Ingress was fun. It was like Pokemon Go version 1.0.
You know what's weird though? Where I live, it's like all the bases were at Masonic temples, churches, and cemeteries. I'm like, why are they having us drive to all these creepy places?
To initiate you, of course.
That's so what general part of the world are you in?
I'm in the southeast. I'm in Arkansas.
Oh, okay.
Right. Did they paddle you?
Love the lovely Clintons.
Oh boy, you're not near the Mena Airport, are you?
I moved from New York to Virginia about a year ago. I'm in southeastern Virginia.
Congratulations on your escape.
And I'm liking it.
I've never been to New York.
Yeah, I mean the upstate is fine, but it's
not so much.
Yeah, I mean, if you know what the funny thing is, the hillbillies always like are supposedly the South. I was upstate in rural New York. They don't talk with a twang, but they're hillbillies.
Yeah.
They're in every state. It's not like in the South. It's everywhere.
I know.
There's hills everywhere except Oklahoma. They're just all like that. They're flat billies.
And Iowa.
Flat billy.
And of course, occasionally you get a few of them. It's one of those they live under the stair types.
Oh yeah, and the Ozarks here, you see that all the time, man. Seriously.
I went to West Virginia once to go whitewater rafting on the New or the Gully, or one of the two of them, and the drive up there was terrifying. These people live up in the hills, and you can see the houses up there with no driveways, just grass, and the lawns are littered with cars. And the people are telling us in town that the rafting company put rocks in the river to make the rapids more higher class 5. I'm like, whatever. How did they do that? I don't know, but they came in the night. And, we went out to dinner one night in whatever town we were in. I don't remember. And the only parking we found was at the dentist office. I think that was just kind of a sign there. Has no customers at the dentist. No teeth, people.
Dude.
So where was this? West Virginia?
Yeah.
Is there anybody from West Virginia on the line?
Yeah.
No.
They
can't operate computers.
I've heard that the toothbrush was invented in West Virginia.
They don't know how to use it.
Do you know this story?
No.
If it was invented anywhere else, it would be a teeth brush.
Oh my gosh, man. That was a good one. That was a good one. I wish
I'll
I
be here all week. Tip the veal. Try your waitress.
There you go.
All right, thanks.
Laugh.
There we go.
That was a good one, though. I just wasn't expecting it.
I caught you off guard. What should we call you?
Call me
Joe.
Yeah.
Joe. Yeah.
Joe?
Cuppa.
Yeah, just Joe. It's fine.
Koopa Joe. Koopa Joe.
Cool.
Cuppa Joe.
Where's James and Grimsteak? And
they're geeking on D&D. We started a weekly D&D game.
I've got them open in the chat, and they're not talking.
No, they're... What did he say here?
I thought you said they were playing World of Warcraft. I was listening to this in the car a while ago, and I heard you say they were playing World of Warcraft.
They're getting lots of loot, man.
I was suggesting they could be. I don't know what they're doing. It says, we're jerking hard to some D&D.
Hey, James. Joe from LTV says...
What in the world?
Don't come in here right now.
Stop playing D&D.
I'm upside down.
Did you say they're jerking hard?
That's what Grimsteak said. We are jerking hard to some D&D.
All right.
So I was saying we started a weekly game, and everyone's brushing up on the rules set.
Sounds like to be mopping up the floors too,
or doing some laundry. Yeah. No, and James is going to come in here. I don't know where Failed is. Everyone's missing.
Grim says ha 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 to the you suck if you don't come in here right now comment.
He's not going to come.
Are y'all really playing a weekly D&D game right now?
Yes, we are.
I'm kind of mad you didn't tell me, Jerry. I'm serious right now, bro.
I thought you would have seen it in the chats.
This is.
I think we have space for one more.
No, it's too late. I have to learn the rules, man.
We just rolled up our characters. Nobody knows how to play.
Nobody knows how to play except you, Jerry.
Well, no, I know how to play.
I'm embarrassed to admit
Okay. The D&D, when I played D&D, I played 2nd edition. Okay. I haven't played in 20 years. We're playing 3.5, so it's a whole new dice rule set. So, but I do understand the concept. And what I was saying is we have people who have never played and don't even know what role playing is.
I've done some role playing, but
there he is. How is that hard jerking, buddy?
Oh, dude, it was good. We did a couple mock fights, helped Failed get his character set up.
Awesome.
It was a good time.
Where is he?
Everybody's still in there. I just was like, I gotta make an appearance on H.I.V.E before I pass out, so I gotta bail, guys. Everybody over there says hi.
Okay.
They'll be
So
coming
those of
soon.
you who were looking earlier, this is the cat that was.
Dude, that is a sexy cat. It's an Egyptian cat.
3D printed that?
Yeah.
We
I just
watched
took
it.
off the new printer.
I'll be right back.
Man, that's a beautiful thing. So what's going on tonight?
Oh, now you lost Jerry. Jerry's gone off to
Well,
play.
now that we're
No, I'll be right back. I saw right back.
Host, what are you playing, Grimsteak? What are you guys doing?
Dude, we started a D&D campaign, playing 3.5.
3.5. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, you want in, Killendale?
Yes, I do.
Dude, I'll send
Yeah.
you our Discord invite. We play.
All right. Fucking Jerry, man. Jerry knew I wanted it the whole time. He's like, I thought you would have seen something invisibly never sent your way.
We're always taking new people. I'll send you a thing on Slack.
All right, cool.
What's going
on? We were just talking about D&D, basically.
Oh yeah. Dude, it's a good time. I haven't played.
Is anybody a wizard? Are you the wizard, Grimsteak?
No, dude, I'm a human fighter. I kept it pretty basic. It's been a long time since I played, so I didn't want to. Dude, just spells are too much. It's too much sometimes.
I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Yeah, right, dude. It's not too much.
No.
I've never played D&D in my life, ever.
Oh, man, you're missing out.
Come on.
It's good times.
I haven't either.
It's a great game.
Apparently.
It's just, it's using your imagination for everything.
The human imagination. Yeah, the human imagination, man.
Dude, it is. It's just fun.
You can do that stuff in real life.
D&D?
LARPing?
Dude, I don't know if I could get down with LARPing. I don't know if I could do that. Throwing lightning bolts at people?
Well, it's not really lightning bolts. You just wait till they fall asleep and you play the voodoo doll. It's kind of the same
tennis
thing.
balls.
Then they have a really fucked up dream. That's almost as bad as a lightning bolt.
Almost.
If I was playing some LARPing stuff, I'd get a super long fucking gray sword or something like that, man.
Mithril blade.
Yeah.
Oh, you'd have to. Or a nice Vorpal blade.
Vorpal blade.
15, 20 feet long.
The dark magicians are playing real life D&D on all of us. I'm saying you, but me and all of us, and we're playing.
Man, we're going down this rabbit hole. I like it.
Wait, who's the dark magician? What are we talking about?
Yeah.
Which dark magicians? Well, they say like the corporate businessman putting his suit on is almost like a ceremonial robe, wearing like they're doing spells every day.
Well, the necktie is not a good thing.
It's a noose.
No.
Probably is.
Cuffs are like handcuffs. A noose is a necktie is a noose, and a collar is to keep you in your place. Think about the dress, business attire. It's all,
The symbology of it. Yeah.
The symbology of it is death and prison.
I got a picture somewhere that Josh Reeves put up. I think it was either Dick Cheney or one of the members from the National Council of National Policy that had at one of his rooms that had nothing but like occultic symbols on the back wall, full of Egyptian symbols and stuff. In Sumerian, I gotta find it.
Who was it?
Or we could just play Magic the Gathering. I can play that game.
Oh, dude,
I sold my deck so long ago, man.
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
Did you guys ever hear this song?
Hearthstone's the new thing.
A long time ago, and Dungeons and Dragons is the new thing. When I grew up in the 80s, Dungeons and Dragons is what we ran from, Now it's the new thing.
Dude, No,
it's not the new thing. It's still the old thing.
Yeah. All of this has happened before, and it will all happen again.
Yeah, cycles.
Ecclesiastes, brother.
I don't want to do this again.
Tough. There's nothing new under the sun.
But I've already done it. Yeah.
I'll keep doing this shit till the wheels fall off, man. I'm liking this.
Ecclesiastes had a narcotic vision.
He was possessed by the demiurge.
Pretty much the same thing.
I thought the cops was there for a minute.
No, I didn't think you could hear that. I'm sorry.
Where's James Cruz at? He wasn't even in our. He bailed on our D&D thing like an hour ago.
He was in the live chat and he said, "I'll be there in a second." He was dealing with his parents, people. He said people. I don't remember the word. He used an odd word to describe what was going on at his house.
Classic James Cruz.
It wasn't some sacrifice or ablation or something like that, was it?
Ablation. I know what that is.
Yes, you don't know what that is?
I do.
Oh, okay, yeah, good.
Yes.
As in
uterine. And all the people who don't know what it. Okay.
Uterine ablation. It's one treatment for instead of getting a hysterectomy. And what it's I don't know what the device is, but it basically cauterizes the inside of your uterus. So you do not shed it monthly, and therefore don't rag monthly.
That's terrible. You should never mess with the lunar cycle.
For women who are not cancerous, it's a really good option. Because taking out your uterus sucks. That's the worst thing you could do.
That like completely fucks your chemistry right there.
Right, and then plus then your bladder falls and you smell like pee for the rest of your life.
Yeah. I hate it when people fuck with me.
So that's a sterilization method?
No, it's an alternative to a hysterectomy.
So ablation is the process of taking layers off of something, usually by means of heat or some kind of energy transfer.
Fire.
Yeah, exactly. So the shields on the bottom of the old Apollo capsules that would burn up, they would pieces of it would heat up and flake
allegedly
off.
Sure they did.
Allegedly.
Right?
These things would be like the tiles on the space shuttle, perhaps.
So no, the tiles on the space shuttle weren't supposed to burn up. They just dissipate heat.
I can't
ceramic.
keep up. Where it was Dungeons and Dragons burning uteruses.
Dude,
now
snap out of it. I found it. I'll be in soon. Gotta get Peeps to sleeps around here.
Peeps to sleeps. Is he just murdering people? Is that what that is?
Didn't say.
Gotta get Peeps to sleeps.
Okay, so ablation, remove a layer at a time. It's like just like that. What they do in your uterus.
Not my
Interesting.
uterus.
Yeah, I don't have a uterus.
Nobody's ablating my uterus.
Do I have a uterus? I don't have.
Maybe everybody does.
Van Allen myopia.
I can print one if you want.
That would be great. Can you print a uterus?
A 3D printed
Probably.
uterus?
Let me see if I can find an STL file.
Print
What do you
me a
guys think about that
fetus.
thing that lets you grow a baby in your house, like on like the pedestal thing? Have you seen that?
What?
Stem cells?
No, there's like
On a pedestal like a diamond? You put like a
it looks like
rock candy?
Like a trophy stand, but it has like a uteral like cybernetic womb where you can grow a baby.
What's the name of it?
Like I don't know. Just look up something to that effect. I'm sure you'll find
grow a baby on a stick. Grow a baby on a stick.
Grow a baby on a stick. There we go.
On a rope.
I bet you'll still find
Baby on a rope.
Is that like chicken on a stick? The same thing they have at those gas
Tastes like
stations?
chicken. Well, a pedestal, you said, not a stick.
Okay, all right.
I can't find it, dude. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Right.
Yeah, I found it. Incubator babies.
There you go. Incubator. Shit.
Dude, I don't think... Oh, it is real. Holy shit. All
All
right.
right, I gotta find this thing.
Now, I should be able to share this. And you guys might be able to hear it.
I heard something.
That's my speakers. Can you see that?
What
I'm
the-
just
Yep.
already.
Oh,
That's not real.
that's the Matrix. It's one of those Matrix things.
It looks like a plastic Rubbermaid pail.
Why is it lighting up, dude? Get that away from me. What is
Looks like
that?
a mop bucket flipped over with a.
Isn't that from the Matrix?
What kind of magic is this?
I'm starting to feel sick just looking at it. I don't know what that is. Is that a baby?
I gotta go in here. Sorry, I gotta get the audio turned on. I have it disabled. Desktop audio.
I can see
That's
some.
like
What is
that's
that?
like what we were all in on the Matrix.
Play the
Just
video.
those spots.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Right.
Hold on.
Yeah, it'll.
Look at these weird ass people.
Dude, they are weird as fuck. That's the first thing that came to my head, but you said it.
That thing looks like an
He's on
oil
that
filter.
on the left.
What?
Get a Fram oil filter on the bottom of it.
The guy was thinking about putting his coffee in it.
It's like I want a caffeine baby.
It looked like he was thinking about it. You know?
This is some weird shit, man.
If that was the mother, he'd probably.
This can't be real.
I told you.
Oh,
There's another one.
fuck! It's not going out.
There's no way this is real.
I think it is.
Talking to it, man.
Okay, it's just an idea.
This is as bad as 2 girls, 1 cup. Turn this off.
This is like my dad one.
A lot more plausible than you think, though.
Oh, come on.
Ah,
That's fucked up.
It is.
What's with the imagery, man?
They're milking it at the same time. Check it out.
I don't think they're milking it.
I've heard people over at University of or Washington State University have cows that they have like cut a hole in the side and put a window in so you can see all the innards.
What?
Yeah,
That's cool.
Window cows.
Window cows.
I have to go take a picture.
Fuck.
Take a picture. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, of the cows with the windows.
Man.
That wasn't real, right? That was some bullshit.
That's all just planning. That's something. It's all hypothetical.
That's all for the IPO.
I don't know. I
The
don't know.
bag with the goat looks real, though.
Oh, that
So-
bad goat was totally real. That was fucked up.
I love goat bags.
Goat bags are great. Goats are a very great animal.
They're
you know,
delicious.
they don't need a lot to sustain. You can get milk from them. Like if you just have like a certain plant that you have, you could only grow. Like you could survive with just a goat in the desert if you could like grow a certain type of plant that they eat.
Do you have a
Very
goat?
versatile. No, I want to get one now though.
He has a goat fetish.
Graham, was
A
it you?
goat fetish.
Was it you or was it Killendale or was it LTV that was asking? Joe from LTV.
My stomach feels sick.
Wait till you see this. Is it up there yet?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes. Is
Are
that
you
a
gonna
3D
print that
printed?
damn uterus or what?
Oh my god.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, I definitely don't have one of those. I can tell you that.
3D
right now.
printed uterus.
I wonder if we can print it out. I've got some flexible material here.
Yeah, I need to hang it from my ceiling.
Okay.
How long would it take?
That's a good question. I can tell you here in a few minutes. I'm going to download it and see. Let's see. Thing files.
This is going to go viral, man. If you print a uterus on the Hive, I think it's going to go viral.
I doubt
The
it.
day the Hive goes viral, I'll be
shit
fucking.
I'll shit my pants.
Exactly.
So the only thing that I find more disturbing about the fact that there's a uterus on the internet
He'll
is
be-
not
He'll be on Oprah the next day. What were you guys thinking? I don't know. We just
That would be
decided
a
to print it.
marathon episode.
why were nearly 1,000 people downloading a uterus?
Oh, James Cruz is here. What's up, bitch?
That's the real question.
It's a Mother's Day special, guys. Think about it.
Why do people, other 988 people had the same idea?
Okay, how do I stop sharing here?
Up at the top.
Up at the top, there's a red
It's a
button.
red block. Yeah, there you go.
I
What's up,
have,
James?
I have a theory about that, Joseph.
About why 988 people wanted to have downloaded that print of the uterus?
Oh no, not why.
Or why the goat was in a Ziploc bag and you forced me to see that?
What?
I don't.
It wasn't a real goat, Joe. Don't worry. It was just a dream.
It looked pretty real. Okay. Sorry, did I say that out loud?
Yeah, I snorted.
I think some weird, or that was weird.
That was weird. So the other thing I was I wanted to talk about was those crazy ass gravity waves from those neutron stars that collided.
Oh yeah,
Allegedly.
These things are billions of miles away.
Made up some new name.
Hmm?
Didn't they make up
Dude,
some new
Thornhill
name
says
for
they're
the
bullshit.
collision? I forgot what the name was.
I don't know. I don't care. My thing is that they're billions of miles away. That shit happened billions of years ago. Why are they talking about the waves coming now, you know? Why are they acting like it's real time? It just seems like all this news we get about stars and star activity and shit they don't talk about the distance in real terms. It's in crazy concepts like light years. And the shit happens and they report on, it comes on NASA or Science Today or one of those, websites, and it's space.com. They're the best. And it's like real time. It's like people think like in a couple of days it's going to be here. Those gravity waves from those two colliding stars they found 3 months ago.
They treat it like it's like an earthquake that's happening in California or something.
Well, you guys gotta realize they don't quote unquote know how gravity works. So
I know. Okay, I'm not even going to even address that yet. About the nonsense of gravity waves, yes, but the point is that these things would take
people, man. Like they have to be so fucking prized by everything they talk about gravity when they talk about gravity because they don't know shit about it.
Right. How do you build new theories on a foundation that's faulty or flawed or undefined? How's that? But anyway, the point is that the events didn't just happen. They happened billions of years ago. Those neutron stars collided, if we believe this model. And those gravity waves happened billions of years ago. And they're just reaching us to a measurable point now. They don't ever go into that.
I'm reading it now.
Yeah, because that makes it like so yesterday.
What I'm trying to say is that they leave the time component out. It's been happening over the last year. Whenever they talk about things, yeah.
I think like if everything's really just an expression of electricity and magnetism, for them to say that it's gravity waves means to imply that it's on a spectrum which would infect what we call gravity.
Well,
they're not gravity waves, I don't think.
Gravity is about the shape of space around us. I mean,
that's relativity.
That's just what they're calling it. They're just calling it gravitational wave.
Relativity. General relativity is different from Newtonian gravity.
Yeah.
So they use 100 instruments to measure this at 70 observatories.
I think there's a difference between electromagnetic waves or photon particles and gravity waves. The way that there's a difference between electromagnetic and sound is compression and rarefaction, some kind of a medium.
My output is distorting.
Well, sound can create a sensation of weightlessness.
Thank you, Mr. Plastic.
Yeah. My point is not much that it's unique, but that it's distinct from electromagnetic.
The way I read it,
everything's electromagnetic, man. You can't escape that shit.
It sounded to me like the gravity waves were waves in the fabric of space-time, more so than through the ether or whatever. It was a wave through the fabric.
Yeah, that's how I read it.
Right, so it's not necessarily gravity in the Einsteinian terms.
I mean, that's just one principle of physics through quote unquote space-time. Gravity wouldn't be so ever powerful that it pervades every sense of space-time, would it? I mean,
I don't think
we can't say that we don't.
Right.
We don't know what it is.
Oh, you're right about the fabric of space-time thing, though. That's what they're calling ripples in the fabric of space-time is gravitational waves.
So let's just explore this. If those are truly waves in gravity, and gravity has a push me, pull you thing to it, right? Aren't things in its path or nearby or in its radius, whatever effective area it's going through, are going to be distorted or pulled on or tugged? Right.
Yeah, that's why they didn't measure the waves. They caught measurements of objects being moved by the waves. So they didn't really measure the waves. It was the objects that moved the way they moved that triggered all those observatories.
Yes. Yep. So my impression of it is that gravity is kind of an effect from something else, from the distortion of space-time, not as a discrete force in and of itself.
I really think they call it space-time because they just can't say ether. They don't want to play with it. They don't want to see it as this medium that kind of hosts what we see floating around in space.
And that may be, but it could also be that it's more complex than just a single discrete thing.
Yeah, but I mean, isn't space the same thing as time? If you think about it, the distance between, I mean, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to think about this stuff, though, really. I mean, a distance between something, if you could travel in light years and come back, you time travel. So that means time or distance and space is kind of the same thing, or it's relative to each other.
But we don't know if those distances are correct, even.
Well, they could just be mirrors, Jerry.
Well, because what is time but what you observe in a moment as an expression of light and sound, right? Which is what we call the field of electricity and magnetism. Sound is magnetism. It's what I believe governs gravity, and electricity is, electricity.
So I was just wanted to ask what. So they notice the things pulling on it, but then they're also telling us there's a 10th planet out there. How do they distinguish the pulls from the 10th planet from the gravity waves that are probably constantly bombarding the planet? So, I don't know.
I think I need more whiskey.
What? There is no difference, man. I think it's hype.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm going with it. Is it real?
Well, what did these two neutron stars create? A pulse of some sorts?
Yeah, the explosion,
Yeah. So for me, that would be, it's, again, if we're thinking of mediums, the one we can usually imagine our head easiest is water.
Mm-hmm.
So if something kinetically moved in water, or suddenly you'd see ripples. So the other things floating in that water you'd see that as that ripple went by.
Mm-hmm.
I love ripple.
But so to me, that is more of like, how I perceive the etheric medium. And of course, there's many different things. And if we were all conversant on like on biochemistry and what ground substance is in the body, and how it's just basically it's one thing. It should matter whether you add water or this chemical, but it's almost this one thing that you create ligaments, bones, tendons. I mean, it's an amazing thing in the body. And I believe it's almost a clue to some of how what we call the ether, which would be a kind of like a plasmic realm, the various viscosities and differences. And some of them might be more, electrically charged, whatever, but it acts like one big medium from what I can tell.
A static field, maybe.
So, again, when something moves, that move is recorded in that medium.
They found, you're talking about how it's kind of like water. It's funny you say that, because not a while back, they found traces of plankton on the space station.
Yeah.
Like said that it didn't come from the launch or anything, but there's plankton living on the space station somehow.
Also, I thought they had mold too, like black mold.
How does that happen?
It's because it's not in space. It's in low Earth orbit. It's not in space.
It's not outside of those.
The potential for life to arise all throughout the galactic arms. If there's a condition that will support it, it can unfold. There seems to be a really interesting thing to look at is the Mimi virus. The reason why it's because it's made of this kind of it has a carapace of dodecahedrons, and it has like these little feelers that come out of it. And inside of it is kind of like almost just like an amoeba or like a protoplasmic mass, and then almost like a cache of DNA. And so it's almost as if like it can exist in any environment, and through its feelers, it can almost find out whether there's some form of sustenance, and then kind of reconfigure the DNA to enter into the protoplasm, so that when the carapace unfolds and an amoebic form is there, it can begin feeding and begin its process.
That's crazy. It's shaped like a dodecahedron. I was just studying that.
No, it's
like
a shit. Something, since we have screen share here, I have a picture of it.
Did you guys see that thing about some scientists came up with the smallest building block of all matter is a triangle?
I would believe that.
It's I forgot. I think it's an isosceles triangle.
Okay, I mean, I'm going to share. There was a detailed explanation of what was inside of it, but this is what it looks like from the outside.
Ooh, it's got little hairs.
Well, that's what I'm trying to say. That's the sense to me. That's the sensors, so that as it's in its protective carapace, traveling through interstellar space, whenever it comes into contact with something, they can inform the inside of what the environment is outside, and whether it's okay for that carapace to unfold with its amoebic mass that can then begin exploiting the environment in a biological fashion.
It's kind of like a capsule with feelers on it.
Yeah.
Was that a D20?
But it carries.
It's a nanobot.
It carries a message like nerve.
Nanobot.
It seems to carry almost like an amoeba that has nothing in it yet. If I recall how I read it, then it almost has like a package that it can put together DNA to put into the cell. So that's what emerges. I mean, it's pretty wild stuff.
I think it's cool you're talking about this because, I really believe, just because I'm an occultist, I study a ton about the occult. And I really believe that Pythagoras knew all this a long time ago.
He's a dark sorcerer, original Freemason. Come on.
You got it from Egypt.
Yeah, of course you got it from Egypt.
He was.
It's a bunch of triangles.
He was Voldemort, I tell you.
He is Voldemort.
The one I thought it was I was wrong. Those are not dodecahedrons. Those are triangles.
Yeah. Dodecahedrons are 12-sided dice.
Yeah.
Pentagons on all 8 sided.
For some reason, that's how I remembered it wrong. So I'm glad I pulled up a picture.
You were showing us was an icosahedron. It's 20-sided.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
It's all good.
Thank you. No, I'm
20-sided.
I know D20s, man.
I mean, all my heroes dark.
That's the old guy, right?
there are times I definitely get this stuff screwed up, and I'd rather that we get the right name, and worry about me.
What was the right name?
An icosahedron.
Oh. Ding.
I mean, we got it right.
It's okay, Radgast. I still love you, brother. It's okay.
We all love each other.
Yeah.
Long time.
James is here.
I am here.
Hey, stop fucking
our
around.
walking
I think
soundboard.
yes, I am. You're talking about space and an electric universe. Think of it, and you're talking about it being electric and positively charged. You're talking about that whatever the fuck it is, the D20 flying through space, flying through the ether. So if everything's positively charged, it's gonna register on the scale because it's imagine like pushing magnets away. That's how like all the planets and everything, every star systems, planets.
Well, it would have an electrical field around it, right?
It
a
has
magnetic
a field around it, and if this thing's passing through, it's gonna set off those. Like Joe was saying, there was like 70 sensors around the world that caught this whatever anomaly.
100
whatever
sensors.
you want to say, gravitational wave or whatever the fuck it is.
It's the LIGO equipment, right, that found it?
The LIGO, yeah. And I was gonna say the only thing that you really can measure is it's not LIGO, it's the other one. It's the one where you can see the infrared shit.
LiDAR.
It might be. There's another term for it. I can't remember.
Glasgow?
Oh, is it Gator?
Yeah, I have that in my backyard, dude.
Interferometer thing.
It's it's so you could see infrared in space. That's how you're able to see the.
Oh, that's the Lucifer telescope.
The Lucifer one. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. I'm pretty sure whatever it is you're able to see.
The Vatican built, the Lucifer one.
Yeah,
well, that's the one they built.
It's in New Mexico. I think.
Fuck! I have to look it up now. I'm annoyed.
Why are you annoyed?
Because I should know it.
Annoyed?
Don't
Alright.
get,
I should
don't
know
get
it.
angry.
Dude,
No,
you
all
don't
the
have
Smiths,
you don't have
space
have a
and
degree or
astronomy, we're
anything?
gonna get pissed.
There's no medals you have to prove.
We're just sitting around talking.
We're
Lucifer.
just
Don't get
really
pissed, bro.
unimpressed right now. That's all.
Do you guys want to
'Cause
hear
you
what
put all them-
Lucifer stands for?
Put all them peeps to sleep
Well,
earlier.
stands for the
You're
light
raging
bearer.
from it still.
That's
right.
Oh, the Wikipedia page is kind of interesting on this.
On Lucifer?
Yeah. So, how do I gotta share the screen.
Even Lucifer's got his own Wikipedia.
Even Lucifer's got his Wikipedia.
He's got a Wikipedia page. He's got a television show.
It
He's
does.
He's got an anime.
Excuse me.
So yeah, if you saw some type of object or whatever, this 10th planet, dude, shit would be getting fucked up all over the place
Yeah,
because
I
of
know,
this
it's
giant
crazy.
thing would be.
All right. Let's see how this
Well,
looks.
doesn't that depend on like how big its orbit is? You know, like could it?
If
just
it's really big, yeah. Well, they were. What did they?
That's what they're saying, that the orbit on this thing only comes around so many years. You know.
Oh, if it's the Nibiru thing?
No, we're not talking about Nibiru.
It's not that. Yeah, that's a 26,000 year one.
Yeah, the Dasha cycle.
Yeah.
That's
Nibiru.
Nibiru.
I think I didn't pay for the simulation upgrade.
I didn't get that one either.
That's not part of my simulation. So,
but as far as something, I think traveling through an electromagnetic field, yeah, like there's gonna be cause and effect. Things are gonna move in this ether or whatever.
So check this out. They renamed it. It's not called Lucifer anymore. It's
Lucy.
called Lucy. And I'm pretty sure Nish named her new dog that. Her new wolf.
Lucy, you got a lot of explaining to do.
Lucifer. That would have been so much more cool.
It
you know,
was. It was called Lucifer when it came out. They just changed it.
they had to really make it be Lucifer too.
Some splaining.
And actually, about the dog name, my stepdaughter just named her three-legged cat Lucy.
With an eye like that.
Yeah.
Sweet. The titles on this were interesting when they're talking about the telescope. It was called the Columbus Project.
Oh boy.
And there was a big fight over the mountain. And then right here, the next thing, First Light. And they're talking about the Lucifer telescope and First Light. And oh, man. It's just weird. On 1/1/1, 2008. 111110. Right?
111 square meters.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny. It's about light, and they use black lenses to observe it. It's very Luciferian. Think about it.
Wait, they even booked it. They talk about like it's like the telescope has also made appearances on an episode of the Discovery Channel and Reality, Big Things, National Geographic Channel, Bigger, Biggest. I mean, it's like, you know, it's like it's a star. Lucifer has been on the Discovery Channel. You know.
It's a bright warning.
It's just, okay, so the Vatican came out and said, we called this Lucifer. And it made a big stink. It just says, as this says, you know, people were like trying to discern they're watching for Nibiru, or they're watching for the Anunnaki, or they're whatever nonsense is going on. But, you know, and then they go ahead and rename it. It's like, didn't they think about that before they released it? No, of course they did.
Well, see, Lucifer is not the devil.
I know.
Yeah.
We know that, right? But 99% of people don't.
That's good, but you know.
And neither are real. We know that too.
Aren't the Satan worshipping people considered Luciferianists?
No, they're Satanists.
They're just Satanists, yeah.
Satanists are not the same as Luciferians.
Nope. Luciferians are kind of cool. When they're not eating babies.
Yeah, I mean, the Rosicrucians are pretty good about explaining what Lucifer actually is, you know.
It's
to the point that they understand it.
It's Crowley. Everything Crowley talks about.
Yeah, pretty much. Crowley's, even though he was a nut job in a lot of things, he was pretty spot on. Too.
I wonder if we can goad Adam Carolla into doing an Adam Ruins Everything about Luciferianism.
I'm sure we could.
Did you guys ever listen to Bill Cooper when he did his mysteries Bill Cooper did an old radio show about the Mystery Babylon thing. It's really interesting to listen to if you get bored. But even in the beginning of it, he admits that he doesn't understand why Jesus and Lucifer both call themselves the bright morning star. And he's like, I don't understand that, but I still think Lucifer's Satan. But anyways,
it's not. It's different. What? But where does Venus fit into that?
Well, Venus is. If you look at it, Venus is the only planet that makes a pentagon in the sky during its orbit, or a pentagram, excuse me.
Wait a minute, you actually said like you believe Lucifer is Satan for real?
No,
who said that?
Him. Somebody else said that.
No, Joe said that's not. That's wrong.
I didn't say Lucifer is Satan.
You said you thought he was the devil or something.
No, I said Bill Cooper did.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I missed. That's what I meant.
Yeah.
A lot of people do, and I don't think the church comes out and says, "Oh, no." They're not out to correct the record.
I wouldn't be a very good occultist if I thought Lucifer was Satan, would I?
You'd probably have bad luck with your magic.
Yeah, super bad luck.
What happens when you get a wrong number if you're conjuring?
It doesn't work.
You're off, dumbass. Click.
It depends on the magic system you're using and what you're doing, I would imagine.
It's kind of funny when we talk about Satan, because Satan and Jehovah are a package.
It's the same thing.
Well, okay, you're getting daring.
No, it's two sides of one coin.
I'm not disagreeing, but basically, when you read the book of Job, okay, this is really, there's no other place where Satan is kind of like the secondary character.
Yeah, he's kind of front and center there.
Yeah, it's Yahweh and Satan, and and Satan's saying, how am I doing here? I think you can take a little more. Nah, I ain't gonna cry. It's just like when you look at this, what that represents of like two guys on a cloud watching this guy, and supposedly one is the loving parent God of on one side, and it's just like this. I don't know about these two guys in the clouds, but they're both sadists.
It's a re-episode of Deer Hunter when they're doing the revolver thing, except God and Satan are the people screaming at him, "Ow!" Put another bullet in it. See if you can take it.
So when we start thinking about all these, where is this energy of these torches and sacrifices, of whatever, whether they're children, adults, whatever, this energy is being directed at a deity. Now, just what deity is this?
Jupiter. It's Jupiter.
I don't know if it's being directed as so much as it is trying to be rationalized for.
No, it's being collected by is probably a better way to.
This is millennia old practice. These people know who they're dealing with.
I think over time the rituals build energetic pathways to these entities. So when the rituals happen in their name, they get the boost. They get the points, extra life, whatever you want to call it. The loosh, right?
The loosh. That's such a good word for it.
It's the delicious loosh.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Tastes like chicken. So yeah, so many things to go down that rabbit hole.
Yeah, no, that's not a good rabbit hole to do.
Not with this crew.
Why not? What?
No, not you.
Doesn't make sense. If there's a rabbit hole for anybody, it's this one.
Yeah, this is like the rabbit hole squad. What the fuck?
We would need Aaron in here to go over proper. Aaron's got
to go fully around the rim. Yeah,
this is like the esoteric tunnel rat crew right here.
Yeah, this is the D&D crew of rabbit hole.
Let's talk about. I know I've talked about it endlessly, but I'm going to talk about it again. All the esoteric shit that came out of the Vegas shooting. Mm-hmm. All the 91s in there, and 9/11, and 5s and 10s. Just so many repeating numbers all over the place. And I was thinking the other day that, well, I'm not of the opinion that people plan that's done on purpose. I think it's done on purpose, but not by people. it's what I was thinking was that maybe whatever went on there had a certain energetic frequency, and those numbers represent that type of energy that either caused it or was generated by it. And that's why we see them around these events, because those energetic patterns are always there.
So it's like an indicator rather than some kind of an instrument that's deliberately manipulated.
Exactly. It's a feedback monitor, I think.
An imprint.
Yeah, it's an energetic imprint that's so strong it's expressing itself numerically.
So
that's more. I like the numbers that are like 2772, or like they have almost like a seam kind of feel,
palindromic thing.
Like a vertice of sorts, almost as if it's like a spiritual 3D object, and the numbers are expressing like an edge in some way.
Like it happened in zip code 89119, and he had 23 guns, and it was like, you get it. It's just crazy.
Between 9 and 11 minutes.
Right. The news report came out from Fox that he had shot from 9 to 11 minutes out the window.
The thing with the numbers is, I mean, it's easy to find the meaning, and it's easy to find the numbers because it's easy to break things down into numbers and then furthermore into the meanings of those numbers.
It's also easy for cats to play with mice.
I'm not interested in looking so much at the meaning of the numbers so much as the pattern of their occurrence.
Yeah.
And then, once you could say, okay, if two similar things happen, and the numbers that come out of those events match or have similar patterns, then you could do a correlation there that it's somehow directed to correlated. I'm looking for. It corresponds to the event. It's some kind of signature. It's some kind of
signature. I think is a great word, Jerry. To me, it's they want to leave their calling card for those who can see, because those who can see it are the ones who act. Well, you are going to. Many of them end up just shitting themselves talking about it, which they love, because if they can get the smartest people, the clearest people in a state of fear, they know that they're really hampering their ability to really go for it intellectually.
I don't think that you're, like the perpetrators of this event, whoever they are the same people that are. I don't think they're the ones leaving the signature.
Okay,
I think
that would work with all of deception.
It's like an echo from the universe kind of thing. Is that what you're saying?
It's an echo from the future.
From the future now.
Sure, why not? No, it's just an echo of the energy that caused that. But so many things were fucked up with that. Like something went okay. Either it was planned to go like it did, or something crazy happened. Right?
Yeah.
So I like crazy shit, so I'm going with the crazy shit happened. And
well, I think the fact that so many of those phones were confiscated
and wiped.
Yeah, well, the fact that there was this whole presence of mind of let's get the phones. I mean, people are dying and they're collecting phones.
But where's the uproar of people on social media saying this is exactly why our phones were wiped, and this is.
They were told not to speak about it.
They have the example. They can go. Remember that other young lady? I think she was 28 and she was saying all kinds of stuff. She died in her sleep.
Yes.
Yeah, they're saying that's from a seizure, though. But that's what they're saying.
It's still weird.
Just like Jesus Campos, they circled his house and gave him a gag order, and then another security guard ended up disappearing now.
And then there was that guy.
Joff?
Oh, I don't know the dude's name. I had to go back and look at it. I reported it last week when they come out and said Jesus was actually, he reappeared, but all of a sudden, like what?
On Ellen.
The thing about the wiping the phones is that you might have, like, I have my Bitcoin wallet on my phone. Yes, I have it backed up, but some people might not, and they could lose important shit. You can't just wipe their phone.
I don't think they were wiping phones.
They were wiping phones.
What I heard people complaining about
from
that day had been deleted. I'm not saying that nobody had their phone wiped, but I'm just saying that the people that I had heard complain were complaining that pictures, texts, and stuff like that from that day had been deleted.
Well, they might have shut down the cell tower trunks too. That happens if it don't get.
So that said, I don't dispute that, but what I was hearing was that FBI was collecting cell phones, cameras, and stuff like that for collecting evidence, and that when people finally got their phones back, and this is what Jerry was talking about, was they were getting their systems, their assets with stuff taken off of it. And Jerry said wiped, but what I was hearing from folks was that they had things from that day that were deleted, texts and pictures and videos and stuff.
Okay.
Jerry, I guess you heard other things.
Right here.
We see the chat.
Oh, fuck. God damn it.
Yeah, I was thinking you got the window highlighted or something. Are you using OBS?
Yeah.
Yes, that happens sometimes.
Well, when you're doing Zoom, when you do a screen share, it minimizes the window, which screws it up. Anyway, this is it right here. According to a Las Vegas resident who posted a status update on Facebook, a bunch of people that worked the route, the workers worked the route known at one concert, said they got their cell phones back today. They all said that all their phones are completely wiped clean. All messages and info from that weekend are completely gone. That was like an additional statement, like, oh, and yeah, so it's like, my phone was wiped clean, and that means
okay, all right,
that means
that makes sense. Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah. So yeah, it says
you can wipe a phone remotely. By the way, I work for tech support for Verizon.
Sure. But I mean, it kind of implies that the cops pulled off what they wanted from the phones, and then wiped them.
Yeah.
Especially people who were filming it.
Intimidated their freedom of speech and told them not to talk about it.
Well, first of all, it's illegal.
They have to have, if like, for sometimes I'll get a call from the police every now and then, and they have to have, they have to go through the legal department, number one, and they have to have a warrant or something saying that they can do what they're about to do. Now, this is local law enforcement. I don't know anything about intelligence or the FBI.
They're still bound by the Constitution.
Yeah,
we're talking about people who would suppose to the whole nation that there was this kind of an event, but then trick us. So, I mean, anything could go here. I know local law enforcement are probably down to earth guys, but these guys seem to be global in their operations.
Yeah, I think the sheriff's department's actually trying, in my opinion, is trying to do their job, and they're being held from doing it.
There's that creepy FBI guy that stands to his side. That is creepy.
There's there's a guy out there named Jake Morphonius. I think that's his name, and he's got a channel called End Times Reports, and he's been on the street in Vegas for the last week, I think, or almost 2 weeks, and been talking to cops and stuff and getting some real interesting information. They're frustrated because their hands are tied because the FBI took the case away from them.
Yeah.
And you could see that frustration with the sheriff last week. They changed the timeline, but that was the last time we've heard from them, I think.
Yes. It's been 6 days.
Yeah. Like they're just waiting for everyone to forget about it.
If I look up esoteric Vegas, all it is Jay Dyer over and over and over and over.
He did get busy after that, didn't he?
Yes, he did. That is crazy.
That's
crazy.
Well, the cameras in the hotels, I know you guys have probably talked about this, but I haven't heard. I want to know what you think. They have cameras in every hallway, every lobby, everything in that hotel.
Correct.
Why aren't they showing us the footage of this dude taking all these guns up there?
Because they haven't rendered the new frames yet. I don't know.
Because they're still photoshopping it.
Right. This is what I was arguing last week, is that Vegas is the most surveilled city in the world. There's cameras everywhere. There's cameras probably even in your room. I wouldn't doubt that they had cameras in the TVs, because all those Samsung TVs in Mandalay Bay have two-way communication, so they know exactly what happened. They can recreate it on camera and show here he is. So we're not getting to see that because A, it was a drill, or B, they're complicit in something. I don't, or it's still an ongoing investigation too.
Yeah,
it might be inadmissible, and the kind of evidence, the way they create it, it might be inadmissible type stuff.
My gut tells me that they're not releasing it because it doesn't match the narrative. However that shakes out.
Somebody has seen the damn film, though.
Dude,
Somebody's had to look at it.
And see, here we are 19 days later, and you can do a lot to video in 19 days.
Hell yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Show go for?
I think it's both fucked up and awesome.
Yeah,
I'm back.
Have you seen the video that they do with that stuff too?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Oh, yeah, that was I was saying with the video. But then, as far as the voice, yeah, you could just go in and like highlight something and move it around and shit. Yeah, it's fucked up, dude. But,
what Adobe program are you talking about?
Adobe Voice.
Shit.
It's still out in rollout, dude. It's not out yet, but like, it's fucked up, man. You can literally just take words, change them around, and it would sound like
it's a part of the creative studio.
Like, I love eating cats. You know, like whatever.
Yeah,
just completely change it.
Oh,
everybody grab him by the pussy. You know, like you weren't even on video. You know, you could say whatever you want. You know, like,
it takes a string of audio that you record from them, and it brings up the phonemes.
Yeah. And also you could do it with video, and they did it. It didn't go as fluent like with, but I mean, if they're rolling this out to the public, imagine what they already do, you know, with it, like, or what they could do with it.
So that guy must need a certain amount of language to develop enough phonemes to give you whatever words you want. Yes.
Yeah, I think it does. I've never laid hands on the software myself, but that's generally how that stuff operates.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it said it was like if you talked for like 30 minutes, it just read a little story, like read something for like 30 minutes. It you can pretty much form any word possible in any word voice.
Yeah, it changes inflection or collects native samples and stuff.
People are going to be making so many bunk videos with that stuff, man. It's going to be crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys can hear this or not.
Yeah, I can hear it.
Let me know. Hang on one second. You ready?
Yep.
I'm not offering you my butthole.
Something about somebody's butthole?
Yeah, that's Neil deGrasse Tyson saying that on Radiolab.
I'm not offering you my butthole.
So that's the same kind of thing the software does, like that. Like it can make them say stuff.
Yeah, except Neil deGrasse Tyson actually said this.
You know what, man? For a radio host, that's perfect because we do bits and sound clips all the time. Of people
I know.
saying,
that's what I was thinking.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not offering you my butthole.
By the way, I was going to say, how long does this show go on? Because I can stream this on the Fringe FM once Spaced Out Radio goes off, or the audio.
Let's see, it's 12:30. I would say till like about 2:30.
We're scheduled to go to
well, another 2 hours.
No, yeah, hour and a half.
This is like
you see how many hits is on how many hits the hit map is shown on the website, James?
No? Well, right now, I mean, it's I mean, I'm sure there's probably. I mean, I think there's only like 10 people watching.
Yeah.
No. I'm talking about the Fringe.fm. Look at the hit globe.
9.
Oh, on yours, is it blown up?
Yeah.
I wonder if I could broadcast this on. I wonder if I could broadcast this on like 80 meters or something.
You can do whatever you want.
All you need is an encoder, man. That's it.
You can
Well,
use.
all I need is a microphone. I've got the transmitter here.
What do you want to stream it on?
Oh, now we're talking pirate radio. I dig this.
No, this isn't pirate. I'm legit.
Do some pirate radio.
Why would you want to?
I'm legit. While you bullshitting?
Yeah,
I'm sitting here talking to you guys. You can't even hear me, can you?
I can hear you, Jerry.
Now I hear you.
I was muted. Why would you want to restream this on the radio?
Just to fuck around because I own the station and I can
reach the universe in ways that we can't.
Do I got to start using my professional mic?
Yeah,
that's a good mic you got there.
It would be nice.
We could do.
Hell, James and I did a show, got on there, talked about the electric universe, and Kurt come on and he was drunk.
Kurt,
I mean,
oh my God.
Yeah. Hey, that thing's gotten over it's gotten a lot of plays, actually.
You know, if you can't talk about the electric universe when you're drunk, you got serious issues.
That's right.
I don't. Kurt was like, "Please delete this. Don't let no." I'm like, "I'm not deleting the show, Kurt."
Come on, brother.
There was another lunar wave captured on September 23rd.
Lunar wave.
Yeah.
That ripple that you see going across the moon?
It's not a ripple. It's a line. Yeah, that's it though.
There's a pretty kick-ass meteor shower, the Orion, that's going on this weekend.
The Orionids.
Yeah, that's how
I took pictures of Orion last night. Oh, I should go get my camera. I filmed this.
You got some, dude. I've been watching your moon and sun videos like religiously, man.
Sorry.
Like I can't stop watching them.
Sorry.
Don't apologize. I think it's great. And then you put the jazz behind it. That was epic.
The jazz is new. I was doing. Yeah, I think it's always been jazz, hasn't it? The time lapses that we're doing rock music. Anyway, yeah. Thank you. I went out to film the moon tonight. It was going to be 1% illuminated, but of course the skies were trashed right before sunset, so you can't see jack shit anymore. And I think, by the way, this was my takeaway tonight, that they spray before the sun because it's harder to see them doing it because of the brightness of the sun. It's not that they're hiding sunset, which was my first thought.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people with their phone cameras and stuff that have actually come on the show and like, look at this, man. This is the government. They're hiding something right here. And I'm like, have you guys seen Jerry's camera yet? Let's go look at that. Because this cell phone thing isn't. I mean, I get it, but when you got images like that, you can really, you know.
Sorry.
You better be.
I just put on my new mic.
Oh, that sounds great. Ooh. What is it?
It's an AKG Perception.
Hey, Paul, Francis Young, if you're in the chat, say something on YouTube, bro. I know you're in here. My Scottish, angry, Kabbalist, cultist friend. He's in here somewhere.
Let me make sure I don't have anything nasty on here. Before I share my screen. No, I don't make porn, but I do have some. Anyway. Check this out.
I don't make porn, but I do have some. Is that what you said?
No, I don't have any porn on my photos, just unsavory things. This is what they did tonight.
There we go.
Right before sunset.
Beautiful.
You can see it back where they're crossing them and stuff.
Yeah, and they were drawing new ones right here. And earlier before, they were doing straight lines. I forgot to get a radar shot. I wanted to.
You saying the Air Force was doing lines?
Somebody was doing lines. You could see it right here, this one. This white one here. The point, it goes all the way over here. They were doing full horizon to horizon lines today. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. All day long. And
so, what part of the world are you in?
Atlanta.
Okay.
And there was no clouds today. There were no clouds today all day until sunset.
I got some Tim Ray from United Intentions is on the network. He's in Atlanta. Those good people.
Cool.
I'm going to try to come out there. I'm actually going to try to come out to Atlanta, Jerry, and help them with their studio and stuff.
Well, when you're here, let me know. See here, like these lines. It's a sideways picture, but that's not the edge of a cloud. It's a single one of these things.
Yeah.
And so are these here. All these white lines are trails.
Hmm.
You guys seen Frankenskies by Matt Lambert, hadn't you?
Yeah. This is just a panorama.
So, what's you guys' take on this? What are these trails about?
God, I don't know.
What do you mean? Anti-global warming.
I have crazy thoughts and I have real thoughts. They're mostly crazy, though.
Yeah.
Did you ask what's our take on chemtrails?
Yeah, where are you at on chemtrails?
I believe that they're real, but I think they've been doing it for a long time. The CIA just admitted it in a press conference not too long ago that they're thinking about doing studies to, block the waves and heat of the sun or whatever to help the environment. But when you're dropping metal on people, you're not helping the environment.
How do we know they're dropping metal on us?
You seen Frankenskies, right? You did watch that?
I'm pretty sure I did. It's Landman's thing. I watched it after. I know they have soil samples. They did from soil samples, right?
Yeah.
But that doesn't prove that it was sprayed in the air and landed in the ground.
That's true.
So how else would they get it in the ground? The unreasonable amounts of metal like that.
What if all the hype of chemtrails is to like cover for Roundup seeping into the soil and causing all that damage? You know what I'm saying? What if some other thing is going on and people are using that, whatever that is, as cover? And I don't know. That's a stupid idea. But anyway.
I don't think that's a stupid idea at all. That was part of the premise of one of the story threads in Cryptonomicon.
Oh, really?
Plausible deniability for interstate intelligence.
Yeah.
Well, when the CIA comes out and says we're thinking about doing it, and it's a good idea at a press conference, that means they've been doing it for 10 years already.
Well, the CIA hasn't. The DOD has.
That wasn't the CIA director doing that? I've got the clip somewhere.
No, but the DOD did it in Vietnam. That's where it's documented.
Oh, yeah.
That was
Yeah.
That was the predecessor of Roundup. Agent Orange.
Agent Orange, right. Well, but they also did a weather modification thing to make it rain more, to flush out certain areas.
Yeah. Well, that's been a thing for a long time, though. I mean, trying to get things.
You can't cover up shit with shit, though. That's the problem.
I know. I'm just trying to get to the bottom of chemtrails. Nobody wants to admit to it. All the pictures are fake. There's no programs that we know of that we can find that do it. These planes aren't on radar. No government officials appear to be upset about it. It's like, what the fuck? Is it really there?
Okay, so what about the clip, and I can play it, where it shows a guy that goes into one of these chemtrail businesses, and he hides his phone in his pocket, and he's talking to this guy, and he admits to some stuff, but then won't. You'd have to really watch it, but he kind of sneaks in there and starts talking to this company that does it.
But they don't do chemtrails. They're what?
That they're all government contracted.
But they're just seeding clouds. They make it rain. That's all.
How do they do that, though, Jerry?
Silver nitrate or silver.
Yeah.
I asked my brother about it. He explained it because I just talked to him like 2 weeks ago about it, and he is in the Air Force, and they are in the only spraying division of the Air Force, and the way they do it, like they were just down in Houston for like 2 weeks, and
spraying the Naled, right?
Spraying all that shit all over that fucking place for mosquitoes and stuff. And they also have, there's a lot of chemists with them too, to determine the amount of whatever insecticide they need or whatever.
I guess I don't.
But the way they do it, they do it all at night, all under infrared.
Mm-hmm.
So they're rolling fucking black ops, and they roll about like 200, like I don't know, it's like just like 1,000 feet, man, dude, like super low to the ground. They come ripping and just blasting entire neighborhoods. They did like, in that amount of time, they did like 150,000 fucking miles or acres or whatever.
It was a lot.
It was a lot, dude. And and he's got he's gonna send me some video of him because these dudes take like GoPros and shit of this stuff at night, and they're all in their fucking Black Ops gear. It's fucking badass. But yeah, they do. I asked them, I was like, well, what's in the back of these things? And they have the big giant vats. And the way it is they're just these nozzle things that come out of the side, like where the windows would be, like under the wings. So they slide out of there and they just carpet bomb areas with that shit.
So that being said, he's not up there spraying stripes of aluminum, barium, and strontium in the air.
No, man, not this stuff. No.
Right. And I think if that, as widespread as we all see this happening in the sky, there's got to be people out there who are doing it. And they're not usually this quiet. I mean, how many people do you think could be in that program that are doing this?
Good evening.
Hello. Is it Yvonne?
I don't think it's contracted. I don't know.
Okay. So even if it's contracted, you don't think people would talk?
They are talking about it.
Are they?
That's the thing. I've got a video of a dude admitting to all his contracts and everything that he's done, you know?
All right.
And the guy doesn't know he's being recorded.
If one thing I could say, if they are doing something to block the sun rays, okay, so like this week, fucking no clouds, you know, right, Jerry?
Right,
so we're talking, dude, like literally driving to work every day in the van, my fucking arm, everything just getting annihilated.
Super
like
hot.
You totally feel it. Super fucking hot in
mid-October, right?
Yeah, it, like does not make sense. So then when then you really start thinking about it, man, on them like crazy weird days where you see all that shit, it doesn't feel like that, you know? Like
it doesn't.
It makes sense, dude. I don't know. Like
next time,
like sunburn kind of.
The heat of the sun is more intense these days.
It's just granted it's sunny out, but dude, the fucking intensity of the sun is way fucking hardcore than I noticed it.
Yeah.
With whatever they're doing, if they're trying to do like I don't want to say a global warming thing, but a
solar radiation management.
Like a blanket or some bullshit.
That is a program. It's SRM. Yeah. It's called.
What if there are people that have contracts for renewable energy, solar power, for example, that are trying to make money by shorting a contract, and they go and they spray these chemtrails.
That's plausible, dude.
Just exactly. I know, right?
Well, take it a step further. What if they're testing some substance that can harness that energy better for them?
That's what I was just gonna say too. Yeah.
And on the other crazy end of the spectrum, you got terraforming.
Yeah.
By aliens, if that's a thing. Or it could even be if there is some kind of breakaway civilization in Antarctica, which is possible. They could be doing it, and we would have no idea.
Like people from Ecuador are trying to make Texas more habitable.
Yep.
Do you want to see this video, or I can just send you the link?
Send me the link, and I'll post it in the chat and everything.
Because I can share the audio and the video if you need.
What, Yvonne?
How's everybody doing?
We're good. How are you?
I'm freaking awesome. I'm so sorry I'm late. I was
don't worry about
it. Recording.
By the way, I am the Dark Alliance.
I'm the motherfucking Dark Alliance. Here I am.
I've always wanted the Dark Alliance.
No, you don't want to be. You don't want to
be in this
club.
Once you're on the Hive, you're in the Dark Alliance.
You don't want to be in. No, you don't.
Yeah.
Hello, Yvonne.
Flagged.
Good evening. Hey, everybody. Yeah. Just finished a very interesting recording. I'm excited about it. So if we post in a video soon.
Who with, if we may ask?
There you go, Jerry.
Omniscience.
Who?
Omniscience.
Omniscience? Oh, wow.
Correct.
I don't know that person.
Yes. Very.
I know him from the forums. He knows who I am.
Oh, okay. Yeah. It's very, very. Yeah. So it's just, and when you get caught in editing a video, and if you get a lot of technical issues like I do, I'm like, okay, I'm sorry, Jerry, but I gotta finish this and I gotta save this. So there you have it. So sorry about that. Yes.
You have no obligation to be here.
I know. I told you I would, though, and I clicked. I take things, when I say I'm going to be there.
Thank you so much. Appreciate that.
Saying. You're very welcome.
It's because you're so awesome.
No. You all were talking about weather modification. Have you checked out? Oh, sorry. And if I'm interrupting, let me know.
You're not.
Go right ahead.
Okay. Well, I'm trying to find this guy's website. 1 sec. So, Dr.
So who's
Carlson.
I'm the FNG here. So.
Sorry. What's that?
So who are you? I'm the FNG here.
Oh.
So.
What is FMG?
Fucking new guy.
FNG.
Fucking new guy. Motherfucking new guy.
That guy.
Okay. Yeah. My name's Yvonne, and I'm Yvonne.
I'm 33.
I'm the groovy bean, man, but we're on groovy bean.
Yvonne.
Sometimes go too far.
He's that guy. Yvonne's got a podcast or had a podcast, and now she does live streams on YouTube.
Yep.
He's so new, I had to remember him from the future.
I like that.
Right, and that guy's from the OBDM?
Yeah.
OBDM podcast. Our Big Dumb Mouths podcast.
I wasn't part of it. I was just in the Slack.
Yeah, nice to meet you. I miss doing radio. I always like the little studio stuff, but Jerry needs to show me the zoomy.
I'm yours all weekend.
Please, thank you, kind sir. Yes, because I'm doing a live discussion Monday night with Mr. Jim Nichols and Lisa. Yeah, he's going to show some new artwork he did too, UFOs.
Lisa Tenney.
Yep, and Lisa Tenney. So,
like a visual artist, or
he is one of the top well-known UFO illustrators and researchers for the last 35 years. Yeah.
Wow, that's cool.
So if you pretty much most artwork or any of the Nazi UFOs you see, or Billy Meyer paintings or any imagery, Nordics, it's usually his artistry.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Jim's got some great artwork. You should check it out.
Yeah. Good blog too.
He and Tolek are no longer a pair?
I'm sure they're friends.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what happened to him. To Tolek, I haven't heard about him or anything lately.
Oh, I'm sure they're friends. Yeah, I don't know why they wouldn't be, but yeah,
why they would be or wouldn't be?
Why they wouldn't be? I don't know why they wouldn't be.
Oh, I didn't know. Well, cause it seemed like sides were getting drawn up there.
Oh, well, we did that interesting post show, I guess, back when, but yeah, not going to go into that. But thanks.
I didn't mean that rift. I meant the recent one with the Pollos Locos.
Yeah, I don't know. I know nothing. I know nothing.
So weather modification. What about the California fires? There are a lot of people talking that those are energy weapons or scalar weapons or particle beam weapons.
I don't know. I have a family member over there, so I've asked some point blank questions, and that's not what I'm hearing. But again, it could be, who knows?
It could be, who knows?
You look at trees that are still standing, and kind of the green stuff's on there, so you're kind of like, well, hey, is that a directed energy weapon, or is this some kind of,
Is there no other way to explain it?
Well, last week we had on what's his the dude that guy we have from China. Remember, he was on with us. He was a firefighter and a forest fire, and he said all that's possible, easily possible with.
And a firefighter I talked to. Thomas, where is he?
Thomas. Yeah, I know. Where the fuck is he?
How long did you say it was? 12 hours difference?
Yeah, he should be. Yeah, it's straight 12 hours. Yeah, so he should be up now. Yeah.
Servicing his wife or something.
I'll send him a message right now.
You can't skip the planned maintenance, right?
Not at all. Not at all. Shit gets weird if you do.
Hold on, I'm sending some people your link here. Lost it. There we go.
Who? Send it to Spencer.
He is unavailable right now.
Because he's servicing his wife?
My USB drive just completely this damn thing. Can you guys still hear me? Because my entire USB drive just disconnected.
You're still on the air.
So your microphone's on a different plug.
Weird. No, that can't be, because now it says headset. I tell you,
So that means you're not talking on your Yeti.
I'm not on my Yeti right now. No, my Yeti.
Hit it with a hammer and dip it in coffee. That'll fix it.
That was really weird. No, the whole system, this whole thing just popped up and said microphone head says disconnected. So I'm just.
So I'm just going. Rahula Club. What about Rahula Club? Spooge, why don't you come on here and talk about Rahula Club?
Who are you talking to? Me?
I'm talking to the guy in chat. I've got it set on the low latency, so there's only a 5-second delay between chat and what goes out.
5 seconds. Oh, okay.
So you don't have to wait 30 seconds for an answer. It lets you have a little bit more interactivity with the chat.
Hello.
Sorry, lady.
What? Oh no, it's okay. Yeah, you don't multitask while Jerry bells and whistles.
I work on the chat usually during the show. He's tired, buddy. Yeah. Thanks. Okay, Spooge, take care.
Take care.
I don't know what he wanted me to talk about. Rahula Club. Rahula Club is Quinn Michaels' website, where people gather and discuss the evil AI and whatnot.
Oh, AI, yes.
I like you a lot, Spooge. Have a good one.
Oh, good night.
I don't dish out the love yous like that. I'm sorry.
No, I don't dish out love anymore either. No more love yous unless I know where that's going.
Even when I don't know where it's going.
Oh, Jesus. No, I'm trying to get myself together here so I can turn my camera on.
Nah.
I gives a crap.
Ready? Sit.
Oh, puppies. So let me see that. JC. So JC, nice to meet you.
It's James Cruz.
That's me.
Okay, pleasure to meet you. Hello.
He's one half of Cruising with Steak.
Yeah.
I don't know who that is, but okay, cool.
We do a podcast. Jerry comes on all the time.
All right.
I've been on 3 times. It's not all the time.
Yeah,
I had a blast on the Dreamin' one. That was great.
I was the first guest on.
No way.
Yeah, James was our first guest.
James, I'll have to go check that out. It was such a pleasure to have somebody asking questions for once, and I was just like so thankful. So
yeah, it was fun. They do a great job.
Very much so.
It's all niche. It's not. I don't do shit. I just sit there.
Man.
And then if I get an idea or somebody triggers me on something, that just reminded me of this or that.
That's kind of how our show goes. It's just more of like a hangout with everybody. I mean, we try to. I try to interview podcasters. The last one was kind of crazy. Like, if we find an interesting person, we'll interview them. But like, mostly it's just something like this, and then we make a show out of it, man.
Yeah, I like that though.
It's free flowing, open topics, whatever,
Yeah, I dig it.
We have a guy that a buddy of ours that he does like jingles and shit. He writes music for the show and like.
So you got to understand, they record the show. We'll record the show, which will be 2 hours or so, and then a week later we'll get together. We'll get a bunch of people together in a Zoom room and record a half-hour
like
introduction, but it's like a 2-second introduction and then an hour of bullshit, during which we play Felix's. Or they play Felix's jingles, and he makes up new jingles, and they're forced to insert these new segments into their intro.
It's getting longer and longer.
Longer and longer. Oh, no. The last one was with the health/news.
Yeah, I have them.
Oh,
they're great.
And then there's a hate mail segment, which is fantastic.
Oh, okay.
Hate mail. Let's talk hate mail.
Well, I say send us, because like when we first started, it's like we're only like, I don't know, 18, 19 episodes in, but I'm just like, hey man, love us, hate us, send us hate mail. I don't care. It could be anything.
James,
it could be
that is too good.
That or
yeah, but I'm the only one who writes it.
Yeah, Jerry's got like 20 sock accounts. He'll send in like 75 different things.
We should have a compare hate mail evening. Seriously, I'll bust out some doozies.
None of theirs is real. That's the thing.
It seems like podcast publishers should be able to subscribe to hate mail feeds, right?
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
This could be my.
That'd be a good idea, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I was just like, it doesn't even have to be about my show. You can be like, man, I hate spaghetti, whatever. Like, I don't even care.
Bonerforeveryone.com.
Boner for everyone.
MaximumFuckery.com.
I think Maximum Fuckery is already taken.
It is taken.
I do not fit into that category. I'm sorry.
You can go to
I'll take the ovaries are rolling.
Ovaries are rolling.
Ovaries are rolling.
I have the 3D model if anybody's interested in seeing it. I've got it teed up on my 3D printer software here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, let's see. Hang on a second. Oh, no, crap, I don't.
Give a shout out to Eric. Hey, Eric.
Eric, not Awakening Man, Eric?
I don't know Awakening Man, Eric. Eric Northman.
Yeah, Fate or Not.
The guy that was on, did the thing on.
I know who he is.
Colonel Gonzalez.
Where is he? I don't see him in here.
No, I was just saying hi because I'm guessing that he's tuned in.
Oh, watching. Oh, yeah, there are 10 people watching, aren't there?
Is that a platypus?
Hi, everybody. Hi, Dr. Nick.
No, that's a 3D model of ovaries that we were talking about. I've got a 3D printer here.
And a baby platypus.
We were talking about printing a uterus.
I forgot what I was going to do now.
Are you going to print? Okay. Well, yeah. That's what that.
Probably more than you ever wanted to know, right?
TMI.
I got one of my own. Although I'm down to one ovary. So there you have it.
That's all you need.
It went to
we can make another one for you on this right here if you want that. Just send me your email address. I'll email it to you.
Yeah, but who's going to fill it up with eggs?
Oh, Lord.
You could use it for an incense burner. You could scoop the incense there and have the big part of the ovary catch the incense.
Dude, he just gave you $1 million. Yeah, Radagast just gave you $1 million idea. You should do that.
Uterus incense burners?
I would buy one.
I would buy one.
No.
You got to find a filament that won't burn, though.
But then, if you do that, you have to name some, kitschy kind of incense specifically for that.
I'll burn patchouli in it.
Kind of like, All right.
So there's nothing appropriate that I can say about that right now.
Well, we can have like an incense that's very earth-based, and we call it Terran.
All right.
James Cruz and Grimstay. Hey, man.
Oh, my God, that's great.
G-Man. James Cruz and Grimstay. Hey, man.
Oh, woo-hoo.
It's a DuckTales theme.
That's what that is?
Singing?
Oh, my God.
It's Felix.
That's my buddy, dude, Felix. Yeah.
Cliff Wall. Cliff
Wall.
That's
once
awesome.
upon a time, we would have said that was gay.
It is gay. It's hilariously gay.
All right.
Well, Grimsteak's totally gay.
Yeah, I can't say that, Paul, but that's funny.
Oh, my God.
Awesome. RandomAssHateMail.com is available.
Their show is like the most triggering show to homophobes nationwide.
Gotcha.
If you have any hang-ups about it, don't listen.
What's the show?
Cruising with Steak.
My show.
Cruising with Steak. All right, I will check.
Okay.
James, are you on Twitter, or how do I in that guy?
Yeah, Cruising with Steak. I'm on Twitter. Yeah, our show's on there.
I'll hook you up.
Yeah, please. Or I'll sub. What's your
Technology.
I got tons of them.
I mean,
we don't need to hear them now.
I know. I'm just messing.
Blast in my.
Wait.
Oh, is it?
Yvonne, do you have a podcast player?
Podcast. What is you mean?
Like on your phone? Do you have something that you listen to podcasts with all the time?
Not all the time, but
okay.
No.
Don't you put them on YouTube, James?
I got all my.
No, I do.
My old Spreaker ones I put on YouTube. I backed everything up. Is that what you mean?
No, I meant like podcast, like an app that, like Podcast Addict or whatever, Podcatchers, whatever they call them.
No.
Or Apple Podcast,
iTunes.
Never mind. I'll send you links.
Please.
You can just go to infraredpill.club.
Well, All right, Jerry, just give me all this info
will.
tomorrow.
The info red
Are
pill.
you home tomorrow? Because then we can
Infrared pill.
I am home tomorrow. I bought that domain today.
You son of a bitch.
Oh my God.
Did you already buy it?
Yeah. Heck yeah.
Nice.
Heck
God
yeah.
damn it.
Heck yeah. Bought it last night, dude.
Yeah.
Once you think that shit up, it's out in the ether and they steal it. It's gone.
Yeah.
Like that.
Okay. So I guess I better act quickly on randomasshatemail.com.
Too late. No, it's I bought them one too.
What?
I bought them infraredpill.club. Goes to
.club.
Goes to Cruising with Steak.
Thank you.
Okay, all right.
No, you're welcome.
Mucho says hello.
It just keeps me from having to donate every month. I mean, bribe you.
Bribe me, yeah.
Do you guys have use a Patreon, or do you just use PayPal donations?
We have PayPal so far. I don't know what to do yet for Patreon.
I was looking at the Patreon, and I'm kind of been observing what everybody else is kind of doing too. But then I don't know. Nobody. I don't know. I got frustrated.
It's a tough thing to get. Yeah, I mean,
it's a slippery slope, and it's like
is.
You get to this point where you're begging for money, and then if you get popular, then you're burdened with having to do content.
Yep. And I've been through that whole thing, and yeah. Well, not popular, but just trying to figure it all out, and all that other stuff that you know about, et cetera, et cetera. So.
If you get a sponsor, James, just get something that is cool, like Fleshlight or something you would like to promote.
It's tough, man. I don't know.
Just something, man. Just don't start selling coffee beans or something.
She sells groovy beans, dude.
I sell groovy beans, man.
We got Life Oil as a sponsor this month, and this stuff is good, and our audience likes it. Just don't make sure your audience likes it.
GetTheT.com.
I was thinking about mini muchos, little mini muchos.
Yeah, stuff like that.
You could 3D print them,
Well, I wanted to do like a Felix had a good idea of doing like a secret decoder thing, like
a Cruising with Steak secret decoder ring.
Decoder, yeah, but then I can have that guy print me up a bunch of decoder rings.
That guy.
Yeah.
Do you know there was?
Yeah, and then we could have like a hunt or some shit. I don't know.
But I like the uterus incense burner, man. That's a good idea.
And then I don't know. Maybe I can offer like failed like a painting. You can paint. So
you should go in partners with that guy and promote uterus incense burners.
Let's see, uterusincenseburners.com. Is that available?
I'm sure it is.
Not anymore.
Not that you said it. No, it's not going to be.
Damn it, Jerry's got it already.
Just see inflamed uterus is .com, inflameduterus.com or something like that. I'm not. That's probably not a highly searched key phrase, but you never know.
I've always wanted to know where I can get a uterus incense burner. Now I know.
Now you can print them up.
I thought my computer locked up, but I just paused the video.
What are you doing October 30th, Monday night?
What about
October 30th?
What about it?
Monday night?
Yeah.
I'm getting the carpets cleaned in my bunker.
Mucho wants to host a Halloween party, and I kind of was having this idea that if folks dressed up as their favorite whistleblower, and they had to come, and then I would, of course, me and Mucho. For those of you that don't know who Mucho is, he's my authentic Nazca mummy. He's over here. Anyhow, so we're gonna host this, and then whoever shows up, we're gonna be dressed up, and then we do a little roundtable interview in character of whoever you're dressed up as.
Oh boy,
shit!
This sounds
and if you don't dress up, you don't ascend.
This sounds like a drama, like a drama class homework assignment.
No, it's supposed to be for fun. But I don't know if nobody's into that. I was just thinking of having a hangout Monday night.
I don't know how I dress up as Bill.
You have a weird guy in the background.
No, I mean its scope is deep, Yvonne. But that's why I say it's almost like an assignment.
know, but it's fun though. Think of the possibility. Because Mucho, here's Mucho. So he's
Right.
he's
Yes.
my mommy. Yeah. So
that kind of looks like the thing from that
Nazca money, right?
place in Arizona.
Yep.
it's a Nazca mummy that I made.
Oh, that's awesome.
Because I do spoofs of Mucho De Niro, the authentic Nazca mummy. Anyhow,
Did you ever get any DNA samples from Mucho?
Well, Mucho has a few series coming up.
Okay, good.
But in the last series, he did drop one of his eggs.
He has eggs, does he?
You could put them in your uterus, in the new ovary.
Did you watch that one?
I can make a uterus for you.
And keep it warm with incense.
Yeah. Did you watch that one where Kari kind
No,
of
smoking?
Not yet.
Oh, you'll have to watch that spoof.
I shall.
Yeah, I won't tell you because
I'm so behind in my shit, like whatever I'm talking about. Like I'm so behind in like catching up on information and stuff lately.
We go to the SSP, the Secret Space Police Station, and
the Secret Space Spa, SSS.
Policia.
The Policia. Yeah.
It's Policia. It's not Police Eye.
No, it could be. I don't know.
Oh, okay, all right.
He channels, so I speak for him.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, we ran into Lady Kari in the police station, and he had a little mind experience with her. So he's just now recovering. That's why we haven't done an episode in a while.
All right.
Yeah. There you are.
There you are. There it is.
I'm sorry I missed it up to this point. Can I get back issues of it or?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're on my channel. Yeah.
I got it.
I got
it.
Where do I find it?
I got it.
Oh, Jerry's got it. Okay, all right.
Jerry's the man.
Jerry's got everything.
Yeah, check him out.
I have a highly toned, muscular ass.
I feel so inadequate.
Jerry's prepared.
All right, here you go.
He's prepper.
Hey man, run a show. All right.
What's the Slack thing?
What's our Slack channel for the Hive?
Oh.
That's where I put links every week. Here. This is the Hive.
I can't keep up with all these things.
I know. That's why I don't bother them with. That's why I send them directly to you.
Okay. Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Kind sir. James, are you meditating there?
No, I'm tired.
Yeah.
Oh, you subscribed to Lauda's channel, huh?
Me?
Yeah.
Did I?
Oh no, I'm sorry. It's just related to yours.
I think I did.
It just says it's showing me that I'm subscribed because I'm on your channel.
I see.
Yeah, but
it might. I probably am. Or maybe I'm not. I don't know.
I don't know. Well, she'll be our guest next week.
Cool. Yeah, very cool.
She's like Suzanne, in that she like remembers being born.
Yeah, way cool.
Yeah,
very interesting. Yeah,
she's
her, with Eve Lorgan. Yeah.
You met her with Eve Lorgan?
No, I've had her on my podcasts with Eve Lorgan. Her and Eve Lorgan. Yeah.
Lauda?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, cool.
Mm-hmm.
I think we talk to Eve last year in those Zoom chats we did. We did once. She came into one of them.
No.
Yeah, she came once.
No.
Mm-hmm. You weren't there.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. I was thinking of a different chat.
A different chat.
Sorry.
The Zoom chat, the Z chats.
Okay, yeah.
Robert Stanley even came to one. Remember that?
Yeah, I have to. I was just looking for that, the one with Eve and Laura, or Lauda or Laura. See, sorry.
I think she changed it to Lauda.
Okay, I didn't mean that because I wasn't sure at the beginning there, so it's from
she's Lauda now. That's what matters.
Okay. All of those back podcasts that I did, I'm having to go back in and change the intros and all that.
Mm-hmm. The FDN stuff.
Because I felt bad because I had to put a lot of people's on everything on lockdown and so
Excuse me.
Do you know who this Muggsy person is? Sam Muggsy? No? Okay, never mind.
No.
There's some crazy shit coming out of her channel. What?
So what happened with the symbology on your shirt there?
Oh, so
there's the inverted pentagram. There's the St. Peter's cross.
Oh wow, Starbucks.
Excellent.
So the story is that the artist came up with this design to protest the people who were protesting Starbucks having red cups so early at the holiday season.
Protest of red cups.
It was like 2 or 3 years ago. People got upset and started a Twitter campaign and fighting. We don't want these red cups. They're racist or what? They're like mocking Native American, whatever bullshit reason they came up with, right? So this guy came up with this design, and it's called Red Cup. To protest their protest. And yes, the symbology is I don't know what they are. It's like a Taurus or something, and a Z, pentagram, the horny dude, and the St. Peter's cross, right? And then like the Beetlejuice worms along the outer edge. And the guys at Starbucks love it. Seriously.
Alrighty.
And I was at Dunkin' Donuts today to get coffee, and they liked it too.
Huh. Well, I like it. I'm not at any coffee joint, so there.
I bought it at T Fury. In fact, I got t-shirt mail.
T-shirt mail.
Shirt mail.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only other one that I've seen that was a knockoff of the Starbucks logo was the I Heart Guns and Coffee thing. So it's the siren, and instead of the tails coming up on the sides, she's got her hands up and she's got like
some 6 shooters.
Yeah, I think they're more semis, but you know,
semi-automatics.
Yeah.
Here is where I bought it. And these are all the other ones they have like it.
7 days. That's awesome.
They have one that's this one that's Fry from the 300 Big Boys, I think is the name of the episode, where Nixon gives everybody a $300 tax rebate, and he's going to spend it $1 at a time or $3 at a time.
These are pretty good. Very good.
I remember when Gray Davis did that for California. Oh, frack yeah. Hell yeah.
Frack yeah.
No, this is a great site. I mean, they have the best t-shirts.
The frack, where's the frack one?
I just
lost at the bottom.
Oh.
Here, I'll go back.
I was just watching Battlestar Galactica.
There's something about frack that I really like. I really liked the episode where Chief Tyrrell was about to die and Callie called him a mother fracker.
Yeah. Frack-a-deck-a-doo. Yeah, I was just watching that.
Yeah, they've been playing them again. That's why I started watching them like a couple weeks ago. I watched like 8 of them.
How long till they stop bleeping out frack?
I know, right? When they going to start doing that? Yeah.
They'll leave it in. So has anybody here ever seen Father Ted?
No.
God, that sounds familiar.
How do you miss?
How do you minimize? Sorry to interrupt. How do you minimize the window in here? I see. You hit share and it blows up.
You could turn that off if you go into the settings. I'll tell you later how to do it. But
that's okay. Sorry to interrupt. Yeah.
No.
There's no interruptions. Not a big deal. Yeah. So Father Ted, the short version is that it's a priest that is he's something of a troublemaker, and he gets turfed out to some little freaking island out in the middle of nowhere, like in Hebrides or some damn thing. It's a BBC Two show, and just watch a couple of them. The first one is hilarious. It begins with this guy who's a retired priest asleep in a chair, and he wakes up. He snores himself awake, and the only thing that this priest ever says is "feck, arse, shite, gels up." And it's hilarious. That's the only way I can put it. It's worth 22 minutes.
What's his name? Father Tourette's?
Actually, that guy was Father Jack.
And you had the same name as him.
Sorry, what?
And you have the same name as him. That guy.
That guy.
No. No, my name is not Father, nor is it Jack.
I thought you just said that guy had. Never mind.
Okay. Sorry, I missed it.
Bad joke.
I missed my own pun. Never mind. So yeah, but it's worth the 22 minutes that you'll see in the first episode, and if you like it, you've got 3 or 4 seasons to go. So
very cool.
Yeah.
No.
I'm out of topics.
Oh, you're out of topics.
I'm going to bed.
Dang it.
Okay, so what's the next random ass thing that's going to happen that's going to divert everybody's attention?
It depends if Harvey sings, right?
Or if what's his name? Feldman sings.
Feldman.
Yeah, okay, all right.
He sung.
Yeah. Well, he did sing. He's on tour, but yeah. Yeah.
What's up, James?
We'll have to see.
Hey, Jerry, thanks for
just pulled the ripcord
again, man.
Anytime, dude. It's good having you. Taking off?
Yeah, I got some stuff going on the network I got to take care of right now. So
okay.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, it was a pleasure.
Yeah, feel free to stream the show anytime you want.
Right on.
Peace out, Joe.
Very cool.
See you guys.
Yeah. Good night.
Later.
Take care.
Get the fuck out. Okay, good. Did James leave? Okay. Now we can talk.
Yeah, James is done.
He's got kids, little kids.
Oh yeah.
Mrs. That guy is out at a retreat this weekend, some kind of a knitting thing.
All right.
Seems suspicious.
Ooh, my video.
Mike's in some kind of
with knitting, but she had a whole bunch of snacks and 2 bottles of wine. So.
And a vibrator.
Oh Lord.
Probably. I bet she packed it. Maybe not.
You know, Mr. Guy? Wow. Okay.
I know wives.
No comment. Video's done. Upload.
I have to render mine too. I can't do it while we're doing this.
Oh.
I got nothing. I really do. I mean, there's
anybody in the chat out there want to ask us a question? Ask a question.
Ask us questions because we don't know what we're talking.
Questions.
I'll tell you, the one thing I remember now to bring up was the depleted uranium, the varying levels of depleted uranium.
Yeah.
There's this guy on YouTube who's been trying to uncover basically the secret society that rules them all.
Mm-hmm.
And he thinks he's found it.
Oh, wow.
And they use depleted uranium, he claims, to make a element 93. Which is neptunium. And it apparently, according to him, has electrogravitic properties, like a superconductive thing. That, you put a little electricity through it and it floats, kind of thing.
Okay.
Is the idea I get from it. And it's made by some process with this depleted uranium. And he even went so far as to say that perhaps that's the whole reason they have so many nuclear power plants that are, inefficient. Because they're just generating uranium to make this element 93. To power all their shit, like the TR-3Bs. All the things that fly in the sky, and infrared, all that crap.
Mm-hmm.
So was element 115 from Lazar, was that some kind of weird misdirection that we've always had this thing?
I don't know. Well, we have always had it. I mean, if you read some of like what Walter Bosley has talked about, the NIMSA group and the Sonaro Air Club, who were they had some kind of anti-grav device, whatever it is. And they would be prime suspects for being this secret society. You could even think of a secret society as a breakaway civilization.
Well, especially I've heard him because I've listened to a lot of Walter Bosley, and when he gives you the profiles of some of these early guys in the late 1800s,
like
guys, who were really accomplished scientists, these were very capable men, And so for that was kind of like almost like the end of an age where that class actually could be called elite in every sense of the word.
Yes.
And it seems like right about then, it seems to me there was a breaking period, and I think there's a certain amount of what I would consider humanitarian elite, because to me the fact they were doing it in public, I mean, you look at some of the credentials of some of those guys who were doing the early stuff, they seem like pretty solid people. But once again, usually what happens is the solid people have all the brains, and then once the stuff shows up, the parasites, the other, the ones who are in there with you, but the ones who don't have it. And then so I have, there's
how can we militarize it? Right?
Well, that's what it is. And like when you have a family, you can't kind of just break the family, even if you have completely two different philosophies. They still kind of, but there's all that. So there's a certain amount of that kind of tension, I think, involved there. But it's just a what if.
So do we still have 10 people in the chat?
There's never been 10 people in chat.
13 or
they're not in chat.
I don't know how many in chat.
Are they still watching?
Yes.
Yeah, Oswald, yes, that's Walter Bosley.
There's 4 people in chat.
Okay.
5 now in chat.
So the reason why I was asking was that Sonora Aero Club seems like somewhat obscure topic, and I was wondering if everybody was up on that, if somebody needed a rundown.
No, I think we're all up on it.
Okay, all right.
We're a pretty obscure group.
Yeah.
I have to pee. I'll be back.
I'm a better person for knowing this.
Not really.
No, the only reason I'm asking the question is I'm ashamed to admit this, but I've only just heard or read about the Sonora Aero Club. So I had heard a lot about the airship flap in the 1880s, 1890s.
Yeah, in that era, that kind of really late.
Yeah, but that was actually, and really my only exposure to that was from the book, The Philadelphia Experiment.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody's seen that.
Yeah, I think I read the book.
Yeah, that freaked me out when I was very young, and it kind of, I think, salted my mind toward conspiracy and strange shit. So. I mean, what got you guys into all this?
Oh boy.
Well, at around 18, I started reading the Seth material.
Okay.
So that kind, as I'm entering adulthood, I encounter that material, and that completely affects my trajectory. Completely. So I kind of had a big transformative moment at 18. But that was the first, because there's only so much you can. I mean, that was really. I mean, you weren't going to find too many people to talk to about that.
Yeah, Seth is some pretty heavy shit to lay on an 18-year-old.
And but I also, I grew up in. I mean, I was in an academic high school course. I mean, I was high performing. The Seth material was almost more like remembering than work. When you start getting a little deeper in, the units of consciousness and stuff, it's, and especially at that time when I was still relatively very left-brained, so the processing was kind of through a straw. Now I could put a few straws in my mouth. It's different, but that's it's almost like that's how it had to be delivered then. But he did such a good job. He did a really thorough job of giving you a little bit of an idea of what that landscape is.
Wow.
Who did?
The Seth material.
Oh, yeah.
And even, even tracking, create your own reality, but still perceiving you're in, and he does a pretty good job of talking about the consensus reality. So he was very good at parsing it out so that if you really paid attention in your life and you kind of knew it, you could see that you had quite a bit of influence. I mean, that and even when when you realize that also so much of your perception of how your day is or what your reality is like is psychological.
Yeah. Apologies. Keep talking. I have to let the dog in before she destroys the back door. I'll be right back.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's fine.
I was wondering if that was my keyboard or what that was.
Whatever. I forget where I was going. It's not the non-alcoholic. This is good beer. Clausthaler, not non-alcoholic. Good stuff.
I'm answering people in chat. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
Oh, that's where the sound is.
That's nice. Oh, yeah, you can hear that sound.
I couldn't figure out the keys. I thought maybe that.
I was typing really lightly, but it's clicky keyboard.
Gotcha. Mm-hmm. Let's see what that.
Tippy tappy.
Tippy tappy.
No, someone was asking if Walter Bosley was like Joseph P. Farrell, and I said they're kind of the same, except yeah, like historian people. But Walter's got he was an OSS officer, right? Or OSS. He was in. I think it was the OSS he was in.
OSS was the predecessor to the CIA.
Some other OSS. It's like the Office of Special. It's not BAT OSS. It's another department called OSS. It's something with the FBI, I think.
OSI, Office of Special Investigations.
Yeah, maybe it's OSI.
Okay.
Watch the first few minutes. What video, Eric? I don't know what you're talking about. I posted a video on YouTube, on Twitter rather.
Maybe his latest. Maybe he's talking about Walter's latest one. I know he just posted one.
Yeah, but why would I have posted that?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, he watched some of that vid. He's asking me if I I don't know if I posted it or not, Eric.
Oh.
It's probably gone. No, he's here. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not sure. I don't post videos too much because they don't show right. They don't.
I'll answer you. I was born into it. I think Radagast was still talking though about how he got involved in this genre or whatever.
Oh, just the Seth stuff. But the Seth stuff was such a great grounding.
Yeah.
The metaphysics without the kind of cold, lumpy quantum. There was a little. It was actually, for a lay person, for a person not using formula, this was probably the close you're going to get to using words in a kind of formulaic way to try and explain things. It was, I guess, it was a little bit rigorous, but the first two were not so rigorous. As it progressed, it got rigorous.
Yeah, there's something weird about it. I mean, it's like the engineering aspect of it, of breakaway civilizations and unusual equipment and materials and things like that seems to somehow converge with a spiritual transcendent aspect of stuff in ways that it brings these two things together from completely totally opposite ends of human experience. And I've always been fascinated by this and completely mystified by it. I can't hope to understand it in my current state right now, but I've always been enthralled by the confluence of these two threads, and actually even not just that, but the biological aspect of it with things like cryptids, and I don't know if it's that we're all open to things that are unexpected, or if there's some common thread amongst these things that they're all somehow interrelated. But it's just
I think one of the things that makes all of the cryptids distinct is that they can remember how long, like they have a connection to the planet that we've lost. We weren't always disconnected, but in the past 5,000 years, we've gotten pretty disconnected. And
is
so
Is this a thread that you pulled out of the Seth stuff, or is this something that you've just come to understand over time?
Oh yeah, no. This is we're a few decades after Seth. So Seth was like a way to set me forward in life. To interpret my experience and my data gathering and how I'm interacting with what's around me. It made it alive. And so that was a different way of going through life. With the concept of consciousness, starting out at 18, like, again, just as I'm progressing and about to get into, some heavy drug use and alcoholism, but I took that with me into the depths, and probably why I survived.
Interesting. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, my thing. I came at it from. I've always been a geek, right? So my thing was I came at it from UFOs, and when I learned about Philadelphia experiment from my dad, that just sort of took me off, down a rabbit hole. And then at some point, probably 10 or 15 years after I got engaged with the whole UFO breakaway civilization conspiracy stuff, I ended up finding Carlos Castaneda and pursuing that whole path. Yeah, so it's sort of come together over time through all of that.
Do you know who Red Pill Junkie is?
No, I've never heard the name, and I don't recognize a podcast or title or anything.
He's a blogger, and he podcasts on other people's shows a lot.
Oh, okay, right.
But he's a real interesting dude, and he's big into Castaneda. In fact, I think on the interview I had with him recently, he talked about it. But he's going to be on my show coming up, and I'm going to go talk to him about that. You'll enjoy it.
Oh, nice.
Cool.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Hey, Thomas.
Hey, Thomas.
How is my level here?
Good.
Seems good.
Yeah, you sound fine.
All right, good.
Best so far.
Good. I see. I guess it's good. Good night for you guys, huh?
Yeah, it's 1:30. We got a half hour left.
All right.
It looks still bright where you are.
It is. Yeah, I'm in Beijing, so it's like 1:30. It's actually pretty gray, but it's actually moisture rather than smog. I'm telling myself.
Okay. Nice.
So did I hear? What did I hear? I heard Philadelphia Experiment and Castaneda.
Heard all kinds of stuff.
Philadelphia Experiment was last night.
Was it last night? I missed it. Damn it.
No, you were talking about it.
Oh, right, on James's Hangout.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually remember seeing that movie as a kid and having it have a really bizarre effect on me. It actually freaked me out way more than it should have. I can't really recall why. There was something just hauntingly odd about the whole thing.
People getting merged into walls is kind of disturbing.
That
when
was
you're
it.
young, yeah.
I think that probably was
it.
Yeah.
You would not be the first person to say that. In fact, who was it?
That's what does it. That's the singular part of that whole thing that we all get fucked up from. Because if we go there in a little thought experiment of what that would be like, it's a horrible thought experiment. I think we've probably all at least done it once.
You probably wouldn't be alive if it happened.
Oh yeah, well, there were people that did not survive, and
right.
It was sort of echoed. I don't know if you saw the first season of
Fringe.
Not Fringe.
Well, it was also something Fringe with the wall, the bank robbery thing.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
But it was also in Under the Dome, where they had when the dome came down, and there were some cows or something there that got basically vivisected by the dome that came down, and so half the cow went this way and the other half of the cow went the other way. And
that was in the Simpsons movie too.
Was it?
I think so.
I believe it from the Simpsons. I mean, it's totally plausible in the Simpsons, but it's just freaky as shit on something that looks like an actual cow.
Well, just for balance, I guess I think you've all heard this. Probably people said that was a claim and a fantastic claim, and it really didn't. Some wild stuff happened, but that freezing in the metal didn't happen. Have you all heard that?
I've heard that it was a fictionalized portion of it, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The reason why I think it's fictionalized is because it has that archontic, specialized trauma creation. Like, again, in the telling of a story, they know how to whack a human because, again, that's what they do. They study us. And so the fact that we all reacted, we all say Philadelphia Express freaked me out. And it's, what is it? 2 sentences, or a paragraph describing that whole thing. That's what freaks us out. Take that paragraph out and we'll read completely differently.
Yeah, so I think like you said, like if that were to actually happen, odds of actually anyone surviving long enough to feel any pain or to go through any real trauma is probably very unlikely. But the way that it was dramatized with that as the thing, even if something like that did happen, everybody's dead. But when they make a film and you put that emotional impact of having that person, like I remember the skin was all peeled and it was this really dreadful thing. And of course, that's part of entertainment and part of storytelling and part of the way that we want to elicit an emotion to me. It's not necessarily a nasty thing to do to someone, but it's also, by the same token, it's very effective if that is your goal.
The other aspect too is that these media productions. Sorry, these media productions produced. They're produced in a way that they tell the historical record. People remember the movie over what really happened more so than the actual event. And I always like to use Apollo 13 for this example. Did that even happen?
Yeah. So it's interesting that you bring this topic up because I read the book long before I ever saw the film. And there was some pretty freaky shit in the book. I don't know if any of you have read the Amityville Horror and seen the film.
Yeah, so, actually, I did read. Yeah, as a kid, it was terrifying.
Yeah, it's a similar kind of a disconnect. So there's a certain factualness that comes out in the book that doesn't happen in the film. You don't think of it as a documentary. It's just this horror flick, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So in the Philadelphia Experiment in the book, there was a section where they start the whole story that gets unpacked in the film is a collection of letters and white papers that are written by a guy who is communicating with the author or some person that the author knew, and the specific details of it are escaping me at the moment. But the piece of the story that came out is that this guy claims to have been a witness and a participant in this experiment, and he says that he was watching from the deck of a Liberty ship that was steaming alongside the Eldridge, and that it disappeared. And when it came back, I'm greatly contracting the story. When it disappeared and came back, that people were, and this is my term, not his, damaged in various ways. And not just that they were damaged and still stuck aboard the ship, but they were altered somehow.
Like their parts were missing or offset or
like Cronenberg.
Well, no, it's not. It's not even so much that, but it's that something happened to them while they were out, and then when they left the ship, like they were outwardly okay, somewhat behaviorally disturbed kind of thing, but that they went out in town as a crew, like you do, having been in the Navy. You go out in town, you go get drunk at the bar, and then at some of the bars that some strange shit started to happen to them, that they were fading in and out, that they were that their extremities were caught in some kind of a visual disturbance that looked like a mirage, and that some of them were starting to behave oddly and were hospitalized. And in the process of being hospitalized, the phrase that he used was that they caught fire. And nobody, including the author, had any kind of sense that they were physically burning, being consumed through oxidation processes, but that there was some kind of a visual brightening around the person, and that the people who were engaged in this had some sense that it was a transformation that was taking place, and that the only way that they were able to stop this was to physically lay hands on that person, and that would stop the fire.
Sort of ground them, maybe.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, I can't even pretend to guess at this stage.
Now, have you heard all the stories from the likes of Al Bielek and Duncan Cameron?
So Al and Duncan, that whole thread of the story seemed to me, having read the book, to be following along the lines of the film, and I'm somewhat suspicious of their accounts. I'm not discounting them entirely, but I'm somewhat.
I understand, but there's always this point where there's certain things that you're like, okay, I'm with you, and then there's that one thing where all resonance just sort of goes away, and you're like, okay, that was too much. And and sometimes it's not even the most implausible aspects. It's just there's this one little detail that just makes you go, I can't explain why, but that just ended it for me. Yeah,
I am absolutely with you, and that's a great term. That the resonance is just like it completely misses.
It's like it's like when you hear like all the wild ET stories, but then the tall white Draco came out with residual wings. Oh, that's too much wings. Fuck it.
You had me with the teeth and the giant eyes.
The glass pad was fine. Gonzalez was fine. Residual wings. Fuck no. Get out of here. Yeah, totally. Yeah, I don't know what to think of that. I'm of the opinion that Montauk might not even be real. Like all those stories. I'm 50-50 on that. I'm not saying that
it does feel like that something was odd was going on, but as far as the whistleblowers, none of them are so far. No one has not had that moment of unresonance or disresonance, and maybe that's you could obviously argue that maybe that's something that was done to them. We've all had. I think a lot of people.
Yeah, they were programmed to come out and tell the story.
I've been in a situation where I had something, and this was not like some sort of creepy psyop. This was actually just a very, very powerful individual who I was working with on a few things, who basically said, okay, he said a few things to me that, Jesus, it's even hard now, that I wasn't supposed to pass on. And one night I was hanging out with my wife, and I decided I was going to tell her, and I physically was unable to actually tell her what I wanted to say. And so, whether that's a psychological aspect, or whether there is something much deeper and weirder and cooler and maybe even darker than that, maybe that's a situation where there's that moment where it's like, okay, they're going to talk because we can't control it that much, but let's just make it completely implausible. Let's put details in there that make it, again, not resonate with you. Mm-hmm. That's definitely a possibility. But so far, no one that's ever come out of that, that program, or any of these real programs.
Which program?
The Montauk, or is the one we're discussing now. But anybody that claims to have been associated with it, none of them really go all the way for me.
There was something going on. I'm not.
Oh, absolutely.
There was. I know that for a fact, but I don't know where it was happening.
How do you know that for a fact?
I don't know for a fact. I know that from people who claim to have been in it.
Gotcha. Just asking.
Not a fact. It's not a fact. It's hearsay. It's completely.
Okay.
I'm not thinking straight. It's late.
I gotcha. Okay.
Is it late? I hadn't noticed.
1:45.
Fuck, Asante.
Tom Fly's on the Hive, dude. So we got a synchro night coming up in 3 weeks. Count 3 weeks. It's gonna be a Hive synchro night. Every 7 hives is a synchro night, and when we announce it's synchro, everyone starts thinking about synchronicities, and everyone starts having synchronicities up until and through the show.
I think synchronicities are an AI program.
Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't mean it's bad.
Mm-hmm. Oh, fantasy.
Oh yeah, I know Nassim Harriman. I want to talk to that dude. So you think synchronicities are AI, huh? Why? Well, okay.
Yeah.
I don't disagree that they're AI, but I think it's the AI. It's our AI. It's the construct AI, not necessarily the quote unquote bad one.
What if it's just I?
Well, that's the next step that these people don't go to. That I do. That we are all AI.
Artificial intelligence and electromagnetic weaponry engineered synchronicities that I got off of.
I don't doubt that those. I mean, that's just injected synchro, right?
I don't know. I just been thinking about synchronicities and just New Age cults and how they utilize synchronicities for their tactics. And then I started really thinking about synchronicities and the binary codes and the meanings behind that. And then how once somebody's once somebody starts paying attention to numbers and their number synchronicities, how that
it spirals,
and that it becomes a pattern, and then you have to really wonder about the pattern and then what you're associating the pattern to, let alone what you're attaching it to in regards to whatever New Age cult you are part of.
What I'm not in a New Age cult, so
exactly. I mean, for me, it's just like it's just because it's a personal thing that they hijack and use in a negative way or a potentially negative way doesn't mean that the situation itself is wrong.
But isn't that just using magic?
Exactly.
I think there's definitely variables. It just depends on what context. I mean, So.
Yeah, it does. It absolutely matters what context, but still, I would argue that system, that whatever. Okay, so whatever drives the natural, it's called natural organic synchronicities, that magic allows you to interact with that system. But I think what you just brought up could be maybe technologically injected synchronicities into the system through like D waves, right? Like techno magic.
Yeah.
Are you talking like artifacts from
No.
Abstract something?
Quantum computers?
But I also think there's some numerology synchronicities that occur with specific factions. We'll put it that way.
Okay.
I agree. That's what I was saying right at the beginning. You missed that part. I was suggesting that these patterns of numbers that come up in these specific different events have a certain signature. And that either represents the type of energy that was used to create the event, or the numbers represent the type of energy that was used to create it, or that it's displaying because of it. Something like that.
Yeah.
And if that can be tied back to a specific group, that would be awesome. Because then we could go back and look at all these disasters and say, hey.
Well, have you guys, I'm probably going to butcher his name. I think it's Ole Demigard.
Demigard, yeah.
Demigard, yeah. So the other day he was talking about, this idea of like colors and things like weird symbols like shoes, where there can't be any traceable interactions, communication between these various groups. So what there is, they leave these certain calling cards. But in a sense, maybe if you took those, idea of like the shoes and colors or certain things, one leg up, whatever, and realize that's where that's the sign of where that code is coming from, where that code is being put back into the world to change things, to alter things, or to alter our perception. So maybe there's a correlation there that we could look at.
Yeah, I actually talked about that. You were on the show. Remember we were looking at the hangman from 9/11 jumping out the window? Were you on that call? Does anyone remember
that?
No,
if I was, it wasn't.
Yes.
I remember that, Jerry.
Yeah, I remember how we were talking about what if the symbology of like the hangman programs, it's a sigil essentially, is what you're saying, Thomas, right? That these things act as sigils.
Yeah, I think very much. And actually, I know I wasn't on that one because I have not been on with Radagast until today. I overheard him. I think he was on for 5 minutes, and then I had to go off, and he came back on. But vice versa.
He's so awesome.
So yeah, I wasn't there for that. No, I'm really happy to be here with all you guys. It's a lot of fun. Like I said, being in the situation I'm in, I don't have these conversations at all. There's just no time or place for it. And even online until recently, wasn't really doable for me. So this has always been great. It's a pleasure to meet all of you.
Same here, Thomas.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah. So if someone said, I think it was Groovy Bean, you said that you have not heard this guy, Ole Demigard. He's actually really he's a real straight shooter. He doesn't really get too crazy with his ideas. He's got the facts. They all line up pretty well. He's got his own channel. I think it's called oh God. I'll find it. He was on
who is it? Ole?
Ole Demigard.
He was on with the chubby guy. God, what's his name? They're in, man, I don't know.
I think it's just called Light on Conspiracy. Yeah, lightonconspiracies.com is him. And he's also got a YouTube channel. He's been doing a lot of stuff. He was on, I believe he was on Higher Side recently.
All the time.
Yeah, he's on the Higher Side a lot, actually.
Yeah, he was actually saying, I'm really sorry that I'm on here so much. It sucks that I have to be here this much. I hope I never get on the show again, sort of thing.
He's also on Alfred's show a lot. He's also on Red Ice Radio. I mean, he gets around.
Okay. Yeah. No, sorry. Yeah, I haven't been watching many things lately. I'm just kind of.
Yeah, me neither.
I've been doing my own recordings and then trying to.
It's the only way to stay sane.
It's like nothing interests me anymore. Are you guys the same way? It's like this stuff's like
Yeah. That is like so old world.
Yes, I know. I want to make moon videos.
Dead, or more like so dead world.
Well,
Oh, sweet. I actually, Dr. Mike just told me that Nassim might be returning from Egypt. And I know someone, or I talked to someone in one of my other chats who's actually went with him and was going to get him to contact me. So trying to get him on the show. Nassim Harriman.
Oh, Nassim. Yeah.
I want to talk to him about neutrinos. I want to go balls deep on neutrinos with him. He's going to be the first episode of Balls Deep, our new podcast.
Okay. Balls Deep and neutrinos are two terms that I never expected to hear in the same.
Well, the podcast is Balls Deep, and every show is going to be one topic. We're going to go balls deep in a topic.
So isn't Balls Deep isn't that a Vice thing?
Sexual thing.
Well, I know it's a sexual thing. But I thought Vice had a thing
like Cops Vice.
No, Vice.com.
I don't.
Yeah, actually, so I'll check it here. Yeah, they do. They have a topic, Balls Deep.
Oh, well, now I can't use it. Fuck.
Yeah.
Oh.
I thought it was.
It's also it's an actual TV series that they have on Viceland. So not only has it been used before you got a chance to, it's been used by some of the dregs of humanity.
That's okay. I'm still going to use it. Which one was that?
No, dude, Balls Deeper. There you go.
No, I'm just going to use Balls Deep. Fuck them.
What
are they going to do? Send you a cease and desist letter?
What you going to do when they can't? It's because we're not using it in that context. You can use any trademark term, not like registered service marks, but things that are trademarked rather can be used, or not trademarked, copywritten. Or maybe it's trademarked. Whatever. If what's a good example of this?
I think it's trademark. Registered trademark.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of an example. If you use the thing in not the context that it was originally, when you get a trademark, it has to be tied to an industry. So if you're like Apple Records and Apple Computer, they're different company, different industries, so they can have the same Apple thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have a life-size picture of two Guidos in on the Jersey Shore talking about being balls deep in somebody, and somebody from freaking Vice shows up with a cease and desist letter in an alley somewhere.
I'm going balls deep in you, bitch. Hello, sir. We're processor. No Red Ice Radio for me either. I'm answering chats. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I'm trying to.
We've got to be like an hour overtime.
This video to upload.
Hour overtime. What? No, we got 7 minutes left.
Oh, all right. Awesome.
All right.
Or we can just,
let him hear you. Let him hear you, Gracie. Get in there.
I just want a battery that works. There we go. All my batteries are dead, damn it.
All my AA's are rechargeable.
I use these 18650s.
Oh, yeah.
They're like flashlight batteries.
Oh.
I have one rechargeable, but it lasts for about 6 minutes when I charge it up. It takes about 3 hours to charge it.
Oh, mine charges pretty. I have a one I found. It's this thing called Lafayette, and you can charge 4 at a time. You can charge 1 at a time. You don't have to do them in pairs. It has a recharge, so when they stop getting dead, they'll actually really deep decharge it and then recharge it and kind of
balls deep.
Yeah, makes you balls deep.
No.
Yeah.
So J1337, we should talk sometime when you have a microphone about cryptos. Do some crypto chats. I would love to.
Actually, yeah, I was
Been a
thinking
while.
about crypto stuff too.
Wait, crypto chats.
Yeah, are you into cryptos?
Tell me.
Cryptocurrency?
I'm sorry. I thought you meant cryptozoology.
I thought you were talking about.
That's a rabbit hole you're never going to find anything. That is a fruitless quest. Okay, in our game of life, in our virtual game, there are quests, and those are the rabbit holes, and some have treasure.
I've had some very interesting experiences personally. So
I started looking at cryptocurrency, and there is nothing there. There is absolutely nothing there.
Yeah, it's electronic fiat.
Yeah,
no, not really.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's no work behind it. There's no intrinsic value to it.
Well, some cryptos do have intrinsic value. Some are based on gold. So I mean, there's a bunch of different kind.
So, and a cryptocurrency that's based on a metal or some kind of basket of commodities or something like that, that kind of defeats the purpose of the cryptocurrency, doesn't it?
No. No, because you're not.
You might as well be exchanging a physical thing instead of the token.
There's one token that's like backed by diamonds. You can't afford a diamond that they're using. I haven't read the white paper on that.
Okay,
the ones that I've gotten into were the Paragon coin, which is for buying. It's and obviously these are gambles going into these pre-ICOs, which I can't do because I'm a U.S. citizen, by the way. So the ones that I like are Paragon coin, which is they're setting up a network for people to pay for medical marijuana with these coins. So they're building a payment system and cards and terminals that they'll sell to dispensaries. It's a whole network, and that's what the coin's based on, the profits of that network.
Yeah, that just made me think of. You guys may or may not be aware of the. There's a cheese bank, the Parmesan Reggiano cheese bank.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like a weed bank, but same concept. That would work. I'd invest in that one.
This other one I got into is called. There's two of them actually. Are PayPi and Wild Crypto. And those are going to be tokens that are used by games to buy virtual shit. Like in World of Warcraft, to buy jacked up stuff in the auction house, you could use these coins to buy it.
So the thing about cryptocurrencies is that they tend to you can follow them back to a root of issue, right?
Yes.
So it's like the concept behind a tally sticks. So a while back, I started looking into currency and money and the idea of preserving value based on work and things like that. What is money? And I found this idea of tally sticks, and that it was a way for a sovereign to preserve the value of someone's work beyond a particular time frame. So you go out and you work in the fields for like 5 days, and you deliver value to the landholder, and the landholder is obligated to acknowledge that you've given this value to him, and somehow you have to be able to benefit from the fruits of your labor. And what they would do is they would take a stick, a literal physical stick, like from a tree, cut it, and then they would split it down the middle, and they would make marks on it. And the value of the stick was recorded in the type of marks on the stick. And the person who was being paid would take the stick away and hang on to it for however long he wanted to do it. When he was ready to redeem it, he would bring it back to the landholder and say, "Hey, I'm ready to redeem my tally stick." And whoever was the banker would take the stick that was supposed to be holding the value and find the original stick that came with it and put the two together and say, yep, that's right. He's worked for 5 days and he's authorized some amount of money or food or services or something. So it kind of it's a way of memorializing somebody's benefit for their work and transformation of value.
Isn't that what the Templars did?
So yes and no. The Templars thing was that they were somehow able to communicate value from one location to another, where you didn't have to physically transfer material of value. There was material of value at both ends, and they were able to say, okay, so I have promised Ahmed 2 ounces of gold, so you can take that out of my account in Verona or wherever it is that Ahmed ended up being. So it was the interbank transfer that the Templars ended up doing.
Okay.
But the foundation of it was how to preserve value that someone gave you versus material that you had. It was a way of accounting for the perishability of certain resources, whether it was food or land, material, time, services, whatever. And the cryptocurrencies, I think, are a good way to address that. But in order to do that, the currency has to be tied to something. There has to be some frame of reference for it. It can't just be, yes, you've got 47 doggy coins that are worth some amount of money that's traded on the open market for whatever currency you're talking about.
Right. So the new coins are they raise money to back the coins, so they're backed by fiat currency at the moment, but they're building companies around it that will use the coins as part of the economy of their product.
Sure.
And that's the value.
So see, this makes you think of like when you go to an arcade and you put $1 in,
you buy
machine,
tokens,
and it spits out a token, and then you can only use the tokens there. You can't take them anywhere else. It's just the rest of the world. There's no incentive for another arcade down the street to say, oh yeah, we'll take those tokens.
Right, and that's going to lead to this proliferation of coins, where we're going to have thousands of coins. You're going to have to get one for every app, which is all going to consolidate down to a top 5 or so.
But Thomas, actually, you bring up this idea of tokens from the arcade down the street. Vegas does exactly this thing.
Yes, they
In
do.
fact,
Really?
that's what the whole Ocean's 11 thing was based
They'll
on.
take
Was
chips.
the clearinghouse for all those chips.
There are some they won't take, but they take generally any casino will take any other casino's chips.
Mm-hmm. Certainly the local casinos would take each other's chips.
Yeah. Like if you're downtown, you can go from the Nugget to Binion's to whatever. Is it that shit place at the end of the street there? Can't remember for the 4 Queens, I think.
South Point out buttfuck nowhere.
I like staying downtown. It's the best place to stay, I think. All the whack jobs are down there.
And everybody
I'm gonna
says
head to bed, you guys. I'm sorry.
It's okay. We're going to end up real soon. But anyway, thanks for coming. It's nice to talk to you.
Sorry, I'm so quiet.
No, it's cool.
Good.
Pleasure to
All
meet
right.
you.
Hey, nice to meet you too.
Do you have my phone number, Yvonne?
No, I do not.
I'm going to send it to you because sometimes I don't get Hangout messages, and then
I'd appreciate it.
I'll send it to you.
Okay, cool. And I'll send you that link to the video because I think you're gonna dig it.
I'm going to dig it a lot.
It's
I'm going to dig it like a pound.
very good. It's helpful. It is interesting information. I'll tell you what. All right, you guys. Everybody have a safe evening. Be well.
You too. Take care.
All right. Thank
Drive
you.
safe. Keep both feet on the wheel.
Take care.
Where's that?
So, for those of you who've been following along about the 3D printer and the plastic cat that I just made, Gracie was barking.
Behind you.
The dog was barking, and the only thing that I could find after I ran out of dog cookies to keep her quiet was the 3D printed cat. This is now the 3D printed cat.
Oh,
looks like a canary now.
It does.
It does.
Arguably the canary in the coal mine. It's losing its head, and the the ass is delaminated. So yeah.
Man, I actually, that's a great idea though. If you could get a 3D printer that would actually make these things that were like really durable and not toxic, because I have a 100-pound pit bull terrier who anything I give him, and he's the sweetest dog ever. He doesn't have any aggression or anything. That's just how he's built. I give him a toy, man, and it's gone. It's like 3 minutes and it's just gone. We buy the tug of war ropes. I have to use an old bicycle tire to actually put tug of war with. It's the only thing that actually works.
Wow. So I have one for you. I have a 65-pound treeing walker hound, and she's basically antimatter. Anything she comes in contact with is so one of the first things that I did when we moved into the new house and we got the dog was I made a bone and a donut out of this stuff called Ninja Flex. If you want to take a note, it's a good place to do it. Ninja Flex. So Ninja Flex is hard to print with. You have to print very slow, and you have to use a direct drive printer that uses an extruder that's right next to the print head. It's kind of a pain in the ass to print with. That said, when you make something with it, it's fucking indestructible. So I made a 3D printed bone and a 3D printed donut that I made for her, and that was 1.5 years ago, and they're still in existence. She's been chewing on them. There's a couple of strings that are coming off of it, but she can't freaking destroy it.
Huh. Nice. So we have to buy those heavy duty Kongs, but the ones that are actually strong enough for him are actually too big for his mouth. Like he doesn't really like them because he can't really get in there good.
Yeah,
you got to buy the red ones, and the red ones are gone in a day.
I know I get terribly frustrated with toys that are too big to fit in my mouth. I just, really, seriously.
What about cocks, though?
Yeah, I never had that problem.
So. On that note, thank you everyone for watching. Oh, Jesus. So, I don't know what we're going to talk about next week. I'll think of something. So.
I think we've talked about everything.
We usually do.
We need a show.
Well, let's just see what happens in the next week. There might be something really worth looking.
Maybe they'll come out with a new timeline for Vegas, or
several,
or something. I don't know.
I think next week Tom DeLonge is going to come out and say
that was the other one.
Tom DeLonge is going to come out and say that the Fed is actually an alien construct, and that we should all be using sardines and crackers for currency.
It is an alien construct, isn't it?
Yeah, well, sardines and crackers are definitely an alien construct. If you've ever been in the Swedes, I'm just saying.
In the Swedes?
I don't know. I just pulled it out of my torso.
Have you ever had lutefisk?
Oh, lutefisk?
Lutefisk, yeah.
No, I deny the existence of lutefisk.
It's disgusting.
Yeah.
All right.
Any fish that you cure and lie, I'm done.
Yeah.
And bury in the ground until next year. Sign me up.
Yeah.